Simpsons Index, an online spreadsheet that is also a podcast. This is the podcast.
We are live, and this is episode 31 of the Simpsons Index, aka episode Dirty Bum. Hello, I am your host, Elliot J. O'Neill, and joining me in the dank out of Newtown this week is...
Well, you can call me Ray, and you can call me Jay, but just don't call me lazy. I do 3 shows a day.
And...
It's Claire, hi!
And...
As of right now, Lionel Hutz no longer exists. Say hello to Miguel Sanchez.
Nice. Glad to have you in the dank, BT, Danny, and Claire. So this is episode 31 of The Simpsons Index, the podcast where we review 3 episodes of The Simpsons at a time. The catch is, each episode must come from a different decade. And just then, we watched our HD era episode of the night, season 28, episode 6, There Will Be Buds. Guys, what did you think?
I was disappointed by the lack of buds.
Well,
I liked it. I actually liked it. I thought it's probably this is one of the better new era of Simpsons ones that I've seen so far.
Sure.
Especially because we've seen a whole bunch of crap.
They're prepared to discuss, my friend.
Oh, I will.
Yes.
I will. It wasn't very funny, but the pacing was fast and cohesive. The storyline was real cohesive. It was one kind of fluid narrative. There was no weird left turns that were totally just out of character. All the characters were vaguely in keeping, except for Homer being really afraid of strip clubs, which seemed more like the writer's morals.
Homer was actually really moralistic and like a normal...
Like conservatively moralistic.
Yeah,
very
but
strange.
Not even conservative. Like, he was just like such an average and normal human being. And
He was so cared about. He was he cared so much about what his children's heads was best for them. You know.
But that's the thing. He was for the first time that I can recall that he was the one playing the straight character to everybody else being weird.
Everyone else was weird, yeah.
Yeah, he had a couple of Homer moments at the start with his muttering and with his, calling everyone to attention. That's all very Homer stuff. But yeah, you guys are right. He was the straight man.
But even the calling everyone to attention, it was something that Marge wanted him to do, and he was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna have to embarrass myself in front of my friends
Marge usually
and
does.
coworkers."
Stand up at the town meeting and be like, "Everyone, I have an idea."
And everyone goes,
Marge.
I
again.
remember that
Marge
meeting
is
exactly.
So,
yeah.
Marge, in her thought process, okay, that's how they react to my ideas. How about if they react to my idea, which is Kirk's idea? No, I'm not going in there. I'm sending my husband into that battlefield.
Yeah. But as for pacing of an episode, it felt a lot more like early mid-seasons, and it had a cohesive storyline, and which I think is a great improvement on their writing.
And that'll keep it out of the pit of failure, but how high will it rise?
Participation.
You sound skeptical, Beach.
My deal is skepticism. That's what you hire me for.
That's true.
That and my dashing looks.
We need them on a
podcasters.
podcast. Hey.
I have to wear little blinders,
Yeah.
like a horse, so I don't look directly at him. So attractive.
Because you can't let horses look at the heart of the sun.
Let's jump back to the start of the episode where it begins at Child Soldier Stadium.
Child Soldier Field, which I wrote down because
field, right.
It's,
yeah,
it's
they're not at
very
stadium
awkward and
level.
therefore hilarious.
The kids are all playing Pee-wee football and they come out and there's fireworks and then the parents get all up in arms about concussions.
Yep.
Because
That
the
was
kids
a
are
thing
running
recently,
around
wasn't
like a
it?
couple of idiots, bashing each other.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, people are very worried about them concussions with football.
Which is fair because they happen a lot.
It didn't
And
feel
don't
like
give
a
your
bit
kid
though. It
concussion.
felt like the writers saying, "Oh, look at all these silly people in real life being all paranoid about concussions. I bet we can make fun of that."
Well, I think it was just
Felt preachy.
It was a dig at the mothers. They care about their kids, and then they're bashing their children's heads against the MRI machine.
I did like that bit.
I thought it was I don't know.
I'll honestly say the first 2 minutes of this, I'd already given it a failure. I thought it was all terrible. So
The
it's
first
just
2 minutes, all of it you didn't like.
It's just so rushed and not joke funny. There are a lot of ways to suggest that kids are getting concussions without having, oh no, someone put too much smoke in the smoke machine. Now everyone's running into each other. Oh, better everyone go to the hospital. It's just,
Yeah, it felt like they weren't really making a commentary on football as a sport then. It's just the spectacle around it.
Yeah, it didn't feel as a commentary of overprotective parents and didn't feel as a commentary on football being a sport. It just felt like we need to get to this point as quickly as possible. Let's do it.
And that's the thing, because it was football, Like, they could have easily had concussions. It could have been like the trampoline thing where, you know, trampolines are known for causing injuries and being dangerous, and then just like hyping that aspect of it up. But they didn't even get to playing football.
It felt like they were sort of making fun of, because I mean, at the moment, or a couple back recently, there was a big thing in America about how many concussions there are in football and how dangerous the concussions are in football. Da 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 da.
Will Smith starred in a movie about it.
Yeah,
Was it called-
Tell the
yeah,
truth.
he did.
Was it called concussions in football?
Concussion.
Oh. Well, it's
Yeah.
close.
Yeah,
Tell
yeah.
the truth.
I feel like I've missed out
I
on
don't know
like
what you're yelling, so.
Here's his line from the movie.
Okay.
we
He
should
only
watch
had
that movie.
one. It's pretty memorable.
He only
How's it
had
go
one
again?
line?
Yeah, I can't remember it though.
I am Will Smith.
Can we get back on track?
Sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, I was saying that this was a thing recently, and them having the kids suddenly bumping around, clearly like gently tapping each other blindly, is sort of them saying concussions don't happen in football. You know how stupid a situation we have to make it for concussions to happen. You'd have to be blind and wearing smoky filled hats in a. It seems like they're sort of taking the piss of the whole debacle. I believe
But if
that's
you're
how
going
you
to
say
make
it.
fun of the debacle, then at least, I mean, I could, once they're in the smoke-filled area, I would have gone for more like a Three Stooges bit.
Oh yeah,
You know, headbutts, doink, or chat ahead.
Yeah,
You know, at least that's fun.
Simpsons will want to do a little Three Stooges homage.
Yeah.
The bit that I didn't like though was the smart line where
Yeah, I was about to bring that up, where they, talk about, should we shut down Pee Wee football? Let's cut to Nelson's dad. Is it, why?
yeah, so like I can't remember. I haven't seen the episode where they do actually bring in Nelson's dad in the later seasons. There's the one that he was around in where Nelson's playing soccer and he's smoking on the field and his
Yeah.
dad's the coach.
Well done, son. I'm
So-
taking you to Hooters. I don't want to bother Mom.
Yeah, so look, I don't know, but it seemed like off-model as well as like the other later season one where he appears, and yeah, the whole joke that he is just this arrogant sports
it felt
dad.
like they needed a sports dad and weren't sure who else to cast.
Yeah,
And the thing is, it didn't actually lead or go anywhere. They could have just cut to the town meeting, because Springfield always hosts town meetings about absolutely
Yeah.
nothing
And
important.
this is
Like,
already a really full episode. We skipped intro sequence to get to this one. So.
yeah.
true.
But you were saying?
No, that's about it. Like, they could have just cut that quite easily and gone straight to, they've had the concussions and go to the town meeting. Like, what are we going to do about these concussions?
Yeah. You go straight
Fine.
from concussions to what are we doing about the concussions?
Does anyone remember what Frink was there for? What did he say?
To be all football or things.
So he was just
He
there
was
to be a
anti-football.
frat guy to the jock.
Yeah, I did that thing again when I wrote down Frink in my notes, but I didn't actually write down what he did. I'm like,
He was
man.
there.
I'll
To
remember.
he was there to get called Fruit Munch, which comes up a couple of times in this episode for some reason.
Which is ironic, because all the jock kids are eating oranges the
Yeah,
whole time.
That's
They
what you
like
need to
munching
do.
fruit,
You need
yeah.
your vitamins in.
You need to
the-
fruit munch.
Minerals.
And
Kids out there,
carbs.
fruit munch. Have you fruit munched today? Got fruit munch?
Dangerous
Oh,
direction.
hungry for fruit munch.
Hungry for fruit munch, yeah.
But yeah, the joke behind Nelson's dad was that, yeah, he was basically arrogant. There was no actual joke. It was just the character being a dick.
Yeah, pretty much. And then after that, I wrote down already so bad. But then after that, I wrote getting better. So
Yeah.
we improved from that.
So we do go to the town meeting from there, and everyone's got opinions, and Kirk can't get a word in edgeways.
Yep.
I did like that little side joke where, he stands up to say something and they stand up in front of him and block him out as per usual. And then he's suddenly in a completely different part of the hall, standing up again, trying to say something.
Yeah.
Like he teleported. I thought that's kind of cute.
Do American towns really have town meetings like that? It seems like Springfield has a town meeting every second week
I'm
where the
gonna-
whole town is just like,
I'm going to guess from episodes of Parks and Rec that, yeah.
wow.
Like maybe
Local
not that many people
government
show up, but
meetings.
there's definitely
Yeah.
a lot of local government stuff. This is also a system where you vote for the sheriff and
Where
vote for the dog catcher.
And the crazies get to get
Stuff
up
like
and
that.
complain about their
Yeah.
their
So
problems.
obviously just more people show up in Springfield, but I'm pretty sure they have a lot more open forums than we do. We might have them, and I don't know
Maybe
because I
we
would not
do.
care.
No.
So, apathy is my superpower.
Because
So he's carrying his lacrosse bag at the thing the whole time, and then he unzips the bag and turns out Millhouse is inside. Ta-da!
yeah, so as we already said, Homer, on Marge's request, sticks up for him and gets everyone's attention. Listen to this dog, because you're all dorks, and we should listen to him, and yeah.
Yeah.
But he makes the fatal mistake of calling him Buddy.
That
Buddy.
was it kind of.
Buddy.
I like the
quite
scene
like that,
where it does
yeah.
the buddy, and it fast enough that it really kind of drives home the mania of Kirk.
Yep.
Buddy. You can see
We're best
the
friends
brain
now.
going
Yeah.
nuts. You can see him losing the plot.
I liked when they called back to it the
echo
other way
for
around, where
Homer.
Kirk goes, "Oh, buddy," and then Homer
Homer's like,
does it the other way around, and it's like, "Oh no, what's happening?"
Yeah. It's such a small bit, but it's so expressive in both ways.
Yeah. It's a good storytelling device that actually doesn't say much.
Yeah, it tells you
besides buddy.
immediately that's what this episode is about.
Yeah, absolutely.
To jump back like a minute though, there was one little gag that was for no reason. The weird chapstick thing that Homer was doing.
I know, I saw that in the background.
Yeah.
He's like winding it all the way up and then trying
And
to
then
put it back, which we've all done. It's just weird to see it on TV.
I know, it was such a like for no reason gag, but I thought it was actually quite funny.
Yeah, if they called any kind of attention to it, it wouldn't have been kind of funny, but
Yeah.
because they just let it be there, it was just like,
Simpsons in the HD era do like take advantage of the extra space that they've got and do have a few more visual gags just in the background, and I do like that about the new era.
I wanted to see him put it back in his pocket hurriedly, like if he gets caught out by someone.
yeah, and then leave a little stain, and then later on, like, why is my pocket wet? Oh, wait, that's right.
Yeah.
and
That's
you
a
can
Mr.
never
Bean
get
gag.
a fucking chapstick stain out either.
Oh man, it's so waxy.
I can see we've all been there.
Yep,
It's good to know I'm not
we're
alone.
distracted from the true meaning of Christmas. all right.
It
back
was
on
one of
topic.
Jesus' miracles that he could get it back in the tube.
What?
Yeah, true.
What a man.
Mark 16, I think.
Wow, now I'm reconsidering my beliefs.
So Kirk is like, I'll Kirk. Oh no, I'm not going to do the accent this week. I promised myself.
Why not? That was pretty good.
Thank
Yeah.
you, man.
Also, this would be one of the few times
Yeah.
where it seems
You're
relevant.
allowed to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll coach the team, but only if Homer is my best friend.
Yeah, and then
No one else in town thinks that's weird. For one thing, that's not a creepy blackmail thing at all.
yeah, I didn't like the whole Homer going, "Okay, I'll do it," but I'm going to mutter for the next minute.
I actually like that bit.
Yeah, me too.
When he's sitting there muttering, it's like it's a callback to that when he's muttering in the hallway, and Lisa's like, "Dad, go to bed." It's like, your mother kicked me out. Well, mutter less. Damn kids telling me what they could think of doing in my day and age.
Homer is
Homer
a
is a bit
born
of mutterer,
complainer. He's a whinger. He's like, fine, I'll do it, but I reserve the right to be a whiny piece of
Yeah.
shit.
And then he's there going, "Don't even know the rules. I could look them up, but I don't even want to." And I was going to stand there slicing oranges and just.
Yeah, I would have liked.
Stupid
I reckon
Seeing
it
the
would have been
joy on my
funnier if he
children's
was like
faces.
Rack'em Frack'em, or like a Muttley muttering.
Oh, right.
I like that you can pick what he's saying, but it's just this long stream of consciousness, nothing. Because then he
Yeah.
does slowly transition to look at the joy on these kids' faces, having the time of their lives. They're actually getting out some fresh air.
Okay, you're making me
ridiculous.
smile. That bit kind of was funny, I guess.
See?
There we go.
There we
There's a
go.
smile.
And the legends say Elliot Joe's and Neil O'Neill's heart grew 3 sizes that day.
He was later taken to the emergency room.
Because that should not
Hearts
happen.
should not do that. What do you think about the kids over-explaining how they won to Homer? Like,
Oh, it was a bit forced. I think it just went on a bit
I think
too long.
once was enough. They had to do
Yeah.
it 3 times. Yeah, because I think he's not paying enough attention to it. That's okay,
Yeah.
kids. I do like that they went for victory pizza next to participation
Oh man,
Yeah.
pizza.
participation pizza. How great was that?
Trophy with every slice.
Yeah.
no, I'm definitely screen capping that and using it,
Yeah.
you know, in the Twitter feed or something.
Yeah,
I'll
well,
think
like,
of something clever to
You
say.
finished a slice.
Our
Good for
episodes
you.
that do badly, they
Yeah.
they get a participation pizza.
And yeah, this is when Kirk is
Goes to flashback.
Yeah, it goes to flashback. I love that he takes the helmet off and
Oh, the hair
flicks
shake.
his hair around.
Man.
Yeah.
But then it
And-
reveals he's just bald with really long hair.
Yeah. Oh, it was just a good animation bit. Again, it didn't call attention to it either.
Yeah, it was a it was lovely animation. It set up a really great gag that was small,
Yeah.
pleasantly small. It wasn't trying to make a big bit out
Yeah,
of
they
it.
didn't
and then
stop
they
and
just
go,
move on.
I used to have great hair then, or at least I thought I did. And it's like, no.
Oh,
that
yeah.
would have made it
Yeah.
so much worse. Just show it and not say anything.
But no, it turns out he was the Grand Vizier. What do they call good lacrosse players again?
Grand Vizier.
Yeah,
I believe
like
they
it.
do. Yeah.
That's what
He
it
was
is
the
from
Grand
now on.
Vizier, and they have him like pirouetting and balleting through the thing.
and he wanted the Sultan's throne.
Yeah, but his lust for high fives was too great.
I did like that, how like the close up was the Iron Hand and then the wide shot was the knight. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know, I thought they were going to do like a weird, like, oh, and then I high fived Iron Man or something. But
Yeah, luckily they didn't do that. I would have kind of preferred if maybe he high-fived like a statue or something.
I thought, oh, that was the other obvious joke that I thought that was. And
Wasn't a person at all. It was a stat. Yeah, yeah.
But I do like how like sad the mascot looks after high five. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't.
Oh my
do
god!
that.
And how broken his fucking wrist was.
Oh.
It was just shattered, man.
Oh man, I have to say all the like crunch noises in
Yeah.
this, they're really getting.
Oh yeah,
like,
and when they
Yeah.
came
gross.
back and it just sounded like an old rusty ratchet
Oh
wrench.
Oh.
man, I think this is as close as I've seen The Simpsons get to having shards of bone sticking out of flesh. Wait,
Oh,
they
even,
might have done that.
Probably.
even when he like signs the paper
God.
with the broken hand.
Oh, what about his nosebleeds while he drinks?
Oh yes, I like that because it was already weird. He was asking for toilet paper, but the way that he didn't rip off a piece, he just held the whole roll up. That was
Yeah.
actually quite funny and disgusting.
Yeah, because I thought they were just going to go for a Kirk is poor joke there. Oh,
Yeah,
I have to
right.
take toilet paper from bars, whatever.
Yeah, I could see that.
But no, they went for the unobvious joke, and it was a great animation bit.
And that's the other thing, like, you could see Homer, like, really trying to make the effort, like, okay, I'll clink glasses with you, even though you're a freak.
Yeah.
And it's just like, when I drink, I get nosebleeds. And, like, straight away, like, as he drinks,
yeah.
So I would
I like how
him-
proudly he's owning it. Sorry to cut you off, Beach.
Sorry?
It's like I really expected him to like, can I get some? And then kind of secretly, I'm sort of ashamed, but I get nosebleeds. No, it's like, yeah, give me some damn toilet paper. I get fucking nosebleeds. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, hey, I'm the customer here. I need
Yeah.
toilet paper for my nosebleeds.
Well, I guess when you grow up, with Van Houten DNA, you just...
You get used to this. You
Yeah.
own it.
actually, Kirk has always had a really strong sense of entitlement. It's dignity. Like, he doesn't realize I've got a race car bed. Do you?
That's
He's
true.
proud of his.
You get little bits of that in Millhouse as well. I was like, I hope you like the taste of ringworm medicine. Not even shying away for it for a second. This is where I come to cry.
He likes Vaseline on toast.
Well, I mean, who doesn't?
Well, it's that or rice.
that or
apparently.
rice?
Oh, yeah, the rice sandwiches. And the vape pen as well. I like
The
that
vape
bit.
pen. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm going to do this in camera, but... I mean microphone, whatever this thing is called.
Yeah.
I'm getting over the fact that no one can see me.
We
So
can
handsome.
change that. Would you like the internet to see you?
God, no. I'm only handsome when I say it, but no one can see me.
You're
Once-
handsome in the theater of the mind.
You're like the invisible guy in Mystery Man.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go with, quantum attractive.
Lovely.
If I'm unseen, I'm gorgeous. If I'm seen, not anymore.
It's like how I'm turn invisible when nobody's looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Schrodinger's cat. It's both adorable and ugly.
Yep, that's me.
And that's how that theorem is explained. And just before they go traveling and stuff, I like all the animation with Bart and Lisa trying to wake Dad up with lacrosse stuff,
Yeah.
whipping the
yeah.
socks at him, and then
Yeah.
like
Maggie.
what do you call that when you shove the stick under and you try to?
Like a leverage?
Yeah.
Lever.
Yeah. And he just rolls out, and then when he's coming out, he's putting toothpaste on his toes. Like, so disgusting, but such a simple way of showing, like, I am tired.
I thought it was more, I don't have time to brush my teeth and eat breakfast. I'll just do both.
That's what
really strange that just to quickly jump back to the levering thing is that they didn't do a wacky bit. There was no slapstick. There was no pratfall. There was no him whacking his head on a shelf full of
He
nails.
just rolled off.
He just rolls off and heads out to bed. It was like the anti-Simpsons.
Yeah, he didn't roll off the bed, jump out the window, and land fully clothed and go, what? No.
Yeah.
It was good.
Homer was very normal, even his muttering and everything. Like you said, it wasn't the rack'em frackum. It was, just him sort of
Bitterly
explaining
slicing
what
oranges.
was happening. Yeah, while quietly cutting oranges and doing what he was supposed to do. Like, he was just agreeing and going along with things.
Which I got to say, I found a little refreshing after seeing so many like new episodes where they go the extreme in the other
Yeah.
way and they just lean too heavily into his stupidness or his callousness or his jerk-assiness.
Yeah, he was a very sensible Homer in this one.
Well, I think he was quite relatable. That's the character he was playing. He was playing the relatable, like, I'm stuck with this weirdo sort of person. I mean, if he was also a weirdo and also being an ass, like, then you just be like, you deserve each other. But you kind of feel sorry for him having.
We've all been stuck with that weirdo.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
stuck with
It's
him right
usually
now.
me. Look at around the room. There's not a weirdo there.
We all just looked at you then.
And then that guy brings you on his podcast, and then you're like, I have to do 200 of these.
No, we have to do 4 years of these approximately.
Approximately 200 episodes.
Okay. Glorious.
220 maybe.
We're on how many now? 500?
31.
Okay.
Piece of cake, man. Piece of cake.
170. Come on, let's do them tonight.
So, Kirk turns out to be really, really good at coaching for some reason.
Yep. And really bad at making mixtapes.
Oh my God, he doesn't know what a mixtape means.
Hey,
Oh,
you
I
know what
like
they
that.
say?
That was a good pun.
Yeah.
Lucky in coaching, unlucky in mixtape.
I have heard that said.
Yeah, many times.
Although, Elliot, you're totally the kind of guy to have a mixtape made up of a bunch of different live versions of the same song. Go
No,
on.
no, it'll be live versions of different songs, and then I'll try and make you guess the theme that I've
That used to be
run.
his deal, remember? Yeah.
Oh my God, it's Elliot's Grable.
Oh.
You just have to get that soft voice and talk about mind labels.
Put your ear labels to my mixtape ables.
Holy crap, it's already there.
Yeah.
Did you guess the theme? Pause the podcast now to guess.
Oh, man.
Sorry, Shag, you were saying.
No. I was just sort of working through it. Because I sort of want to get to the part further on. But what strikes me about here is where they bunk down and the kids are all like being kids. We're all the kids are amazing at lacrosse, by the way. They're so good.
Yeah, Lisa and Bart and Sherry and Terry and Uda. And,
And one of Cletus's kids is there, the redhead at the back. I noticed.
W.
W.
Probably.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Yeah. It is, by the way, it's clearly a mixed gender team. That's kind of cool.
Progressive.
Very progressive.
The kids were just all really well behaved
That-
as
yeah,
well.
which is also weird, but there you go. And they
Yeah,
don't stop and
yeah.
draw attention to its mixing.
And
Not a
then
point.
Kirk is just like, you know what? Let's just leave them in the hotel room and go out to a strip club. And that seemed really weird to me. That, I mean, Homer's like, oh, I don't like strip clubs, but you know what? Leaving 12 kids by themselves in a hotel room, not even a thing.
I did find it interesting, as we said before, that Homer didn't want to go to a strip club. That seems like the exact impulsive thing he would like to do.
And we know he's gone to them before.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
married strippers.
Yeah.
He has married strippers. Even Flanders
They
has
were
married
cocktail
strippers.
waitresses.
That's
Sorry.
true. That's true.
My
I
bad.
thought the cop was
Vegas.
a prostitute. Wait, was that Homer? That was Homer, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's in like a meta episode.
Oh,
so-
yeah.
Behind the laughter. But yeah, I did like Homer. Yeah, puts his foot down. No, let's just get some sleep. And Kirk has a white noise machine set to womb.
Oh, God. That was really unsettling.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just that over bassy heartbeat sound, like
Yeah.
vroom, vroom.
And he just lies. What is that? Like, what am I listening to?
Yeah.
But I actually thought that Marge was still on the phone in the drawer the whole time.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hi,
Yeah,
Marge."
that
Like,
felt like that was going to be a bit, wasn't it?
Yeah, it did. But then after a while, you're like, okay, they're not going to, because they would have
Yeah.
cut back to it mid through. We did miss one of the better parts, I think, which is this is the part where he's looking at Kurt and is like, I can't stand being this guy's friend for another second.
Oh,
Then
yes.
Sees Bart and Lisa's
Yeah.
head rotating around Kurt in
Yeah.
classic Simpson style, just saying various things they've said, like, we're having such a great time. Look at all this fresh air we're getting. We're not misbehaving at all. And then his own head pops up and goes, come on, just be nice to Dingus.
look how much fun the kids' heads are having.
Yeah, that was it. Beautiful.
So what do you guys think of the song? Like, I
Man.
normally cringe at the especially
The
newer
latter
Simpson
day.
season songs, but I found myself liking this one.
You've gone nuts with the musicals lately, man. You're knee deep in musicality, and that's not a bad thing.
No.
I feel like the writers have just like been binge watching Hamilton and Les Mis and stuff, and they're just like, we gotta do something with this. Let's just rewrite the Simpsons canon. 100% songs everywhere.
I've already got a theory that they're going to do a Hamilton parody and call it Homerton. Homerton. Homerton.
Homer.
Well, time will tell. Also, just before the song, I will want to point out,
Nice Hamilton
does anyone
reference.
else think Luann is the fucking worst?
Yes.
Because Kurt gets home and she's like, I'm so proud of you. And he's like, yeah, and it's all thanks to my buddy Homer. And it's like she's immediately angry. And at the town meeting, she's like, no one wants to listen to your terrible ideas, you loser. It's
Yeah.
like, you were just
Yeah,
the
and-
worst
yeah.
person.
Constantly dragging him to prenatal yoga.
Even
though
he-
Milhouse
Millhouse
is
is
10.
10. Yeah,
Oh,
I like
man.
that joke actually.
Yeah.
Although he did say it kind of weird. He's like, you know what the best person in my whole life is? It's not you.
Behind
No,
every great
behind
man.
every great
No, yeah,
man.
behind every great
is-
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's he supposed to say? Behind every great man is the woman who refused to support his ideas.
Oh man, that'd be so much
Yeah,
funnier.
no, I think we just have a new T-shirt. Gonna write that one down.
Oh, shit.
Well behind.
But yeah, Luann was the fucking worst. But yeah, I really liked the song and I liked the counterpoint with them. And
I think that's what worked best. If it had just been one of them, it wouldn't have been as much fun. But have them singing a duet on opposite sides of the feeling spectrum.
yeah.
I did like Homer's parts. I thought they were quite funny.
It's very musically, the counterpoint, the melody, the contrasting melodies, the call and response.
But you could definitely see it coming, especially as like, he was on the Ferris wheel and the other one was
Yeah.
like going upstairs.
Yeah,
You're like, yeah, I know what's happening
This is
here.
where we coincide.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought the animation of that was quite good. How it started a little off and then it just gradually joined together and then the blues lined up and then the little dividing bar disappeared and...
I thought it was really clever and it was a really well done musical, and it would have been great in something that wasn't The Simpsons. It was like, this is a moment of not comedy at all.
Why do you hate music, Daniel?
I love musicals.
I don't believe
They have their
that's
time
the case.
and their place.
And it's called Somewhere You're Not.
No, the one thing I started off cringing about it. I started to enjoy it most of the way through. But at the end, he's singing about how he's just pretending to like this. And he never actually says it, but Kirk just assumes and gets mad anyway. Like, he never actually says it. Kirk never hears him say,
No, he
I
does.
hate my loser friend Kirk.
Yeah.
I hate my loser friend. Oh, hi, Kurt.
Yeah.
I
Could
don't
have been singing about
know.
anyone.
If we were like, honestly, I can't believe she even came again. And, oh, hi, Claire.
Hi.
You'd be like,
That's how I'm usually introduced to parties.
But yeah, so they come back from the third act and Kirk is gone.
but
Egad.
the big game's about to start.
And the countdown
clock is ticking.
Yeah.
Ray's stakes clock is ticking.
Yeah, I actually quite like that raised stakes.
Really? Oh, I thought that was
Oh, it's
something I'd
cheesy as
come up
hell.
with.
Yeah, it was cheesy as hell, but it was one of those jokes where they kind of know it's cheesy as hell.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of okay then when they kind of like,
They
yeah,
were-
we know, but come on.
Yeah, they kind of drove it home just enough so you knew that they were like, puns.
Yeah,
You like them,
puns, don't you?
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. Hey.
And so they obviously find out that Kirk was going to the strip club. Oh, he emptied our bank account and took out all singles. Where's he going? I
Yeah.
did like the bit.
The arcade.
Pardon?
Get all singles, go to the arcade.
It's coins there, man.
Yeah, but you
Man,
have to
when was
break
the
them
last
down.
time you got angry and emptied your bank account?
Ha, on the way here.
Damn. Beej, we need to have
Didn't
a
you
talk.
notice all those game tokens hanging out of his pockets? And yeah, I like the men of Springfield were like, I'll go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was good.
Oh, no, me. I will go. I will bear this cross.
Cross of heading into a strip club.
So Homer goes to find him, and Springfield's got like 14, 15 strip clubs.
Well, it's Springfield.
Yeah, there were a lot of strip clubs. Before that, did anyone else think it was really surreal where like all the kids were like, Dad, go to the strip club. Yay, Dad. And everyone was like, yeah, Homer, do it, man. Go to the strip club. And Marge is like, mwah, 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 big
I
kissy, you
believe
can
you in-
do this.
go
You
to
go
the
to that
strip
strip
They
club.
were jamming the heart into the least like heartfelt moment.
Yeah, like we get the joke that everyone. You could have it just as Marge going. I can't remember what she says. Something like, "I'm gonna
As
tell
your
you, wife, I
wife, yeah.
insist you go to like."
I beg you.
Like just that would have been fine, but pushing it that hard was like, you guys thought this was way funnier than it is.
Oh, and
Yeah.
jumping ahead later on when like Homer gets distracted by the buffet at the strip club rather than the strippers.
Ron Swanson did it.
Yeah,
Homer's done it before.
Yeah.
But then again, Ron Swanson's buffet looked actually good, whereas this is the worst food I've ever had. But I digress. Marge slapping the shit out of
Oh my
Oh, that
god.
was
yeah,
so
out of
good.
Helen.
Yeah.
haven't we
Yeah.
waited 27 years to see that?
Wow.
Just
Yeah, and she was doing it for everyone as well. So fucking sick of your shit.
Boom.
Ah,
The
yeah,
whole town wants me to slap you right now.
yeah. If nothing else, watch this episode for that. In fact, that might have just raised the rating for me. Shut up, Helen.
She's a little
Lovejoy.
firecracker.
And yeah, Homer finds Kirk in the champagne room.
Yeah, and I like that he's sitting there just talking and
He
having
would.
someone to talk to instead of drooling over strippers. Like that's
Yeah.
a surprisingly moral turnaround. I wasn't
Yeah,
expecting.
that was good. Also, had he been away for like 3 days or something?
That was a weird thing. Yeah, they're like-
apparently.
it's like surely it's only been a day.
Racked up a $25,000 bill there.
Who?
Bit strange.
Yeah.
Bit strange because,
It
like,
is.
I mean, no one noticed him gone. The wife, the kid didn't say anything.
The wife clearly doesn't care.
The wife
Yeah.
doesn't give a shit. She's just like,
Millhouse didn't know.
where's my American Gladiators?
They didn't train like the day before.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Ooh. And yeah, speaking of kids, how about the stripper daycare? That was...
Yeah, when they cut in and they're doing little pole dance routines. Like, having a daycare,
Yeah.
sure, that was a good bit. They're like, these are people too. They have,
Yeah,
kids.
and then they killed that
with
with
have them being like stripper babies. Like, swing and a miss, guys. Oof.
So the strippers, because, we've got kids too. We'll take you in the stripper copter back to the field.
I did like the stripper copter. And
Yeah.
then Dr. Hibbert's, the stripper copter, which I've never hired.
Yeah. And so then they win the big thing and they go to Super Championship Pizza, which was another good callback to that earlier bit.
Yeah.
Quick interjection. I do like they call a strip club a jiggle joint. That made
jiggle
me laugh.
joint. yeah.
That's adorable.
Homer's the one that sent him into the heart of that jiggle joint.
Yeah, exactly.
Cute.
So yeah, Homer just respects Kirk and they don't actually become friends at the end, which I like. And then the episode sort of ends there, and it ends with a post-credits of Kirk's rice sandwich YouTube tutorial.
Yeah. Again, they could have cut that and no one would have missed it.
I thought it was all right. Actually, I was like a little bit iffy on the whole rice sandwich joke until the end where he's like, gotta make the rice really wet.
Yeah.
And like that was where I was like, yeah, this is gross.
What I hated about it, though, is that... So it's like someone skipping through the YouTube video
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
making fast-forward sounds.
It
YouTube
wasn't-
videos don't do that.
It was MyTube. Excuse me, it's a
And
different program.
MyTube does that.
Oh, that explains it. Time for the questionnaire. So, yeah, storyline-wise, A throughout, no diversions or anything. Did it feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
A lot more than other HD episodes. The pacing, the single storyline, the cohesiveness from start to finish, and... Yeah,
laughs.
the laughs.
This is honestly the first HD episode I think I've actually seen. And Homer's was
No, if you-
No,
which
you've
one
been
each
on
week?
2
Yeah.
episodes of this podcast before.
You've seen at least
no,
two.
but those were terrible. They don't count as episodes.
Oh, the other Kirk one was okay.
Oh fuck! I even forgot about that one. I've been drunk. Okay, leave me alone.
So it feels like the first one you've really seen.
Look,
Worth remembering.
I think it was the first one that I.
Nice.
Oh my god. I think it was the first one that had a cohesive storyline and I probably enjoyed, but I found it weird that Homer was so out of character to what I recognize him as.
That's a fair
But
point.
He's got his more sober moments in some
does.
episodes.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, it did feel like an episode of The Simpsons.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll say yes. On Homer, it's not unusual for him to behave like that. It's just been a long time since we've seen it. So this
Yeah,
feels like
yeah,
more of
yeah.
a natural progression from the old Homer of the very, very first season Homer, the frosty chocolate milkshakes, who is...
That was pretty good.
Because I've been thinking about that early stuff, and it's more him being the overconfident patriarch.
Yeah, he's been more of a
Um,
father figure, isn't he?
Yeah. Whereas in this one, he doesn't have that overconfidence, but he still knows that he's kind of the gravity in the center. So
yeah.
it feels like an evolution from that Homer that we haven't seen for 20 years. But it doesn't.
Yeah,
not
it might
out
be
of
a bit
place.
off character, but like I said before, I found it pretty refreshing.
Yeah, it's not horribly out of
One of
character.
the many faces of Homer.
Yeah, I'm working on how many there might be. I think there's at least 3.
Play count. Anyone seen it before?
No.
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 Well, yeah, this is a pretty new one. It only just aired at the tail end of last year. It is, episode 6 of season 28. How'd you like the wackiness?
Not too much of it in this one. I think
It wasn't wacky at all, was
Beatty
it?
stripper daycare stripper poles was
Oh,
the wackiest
Millhouse
part.
in the bag.
In the duffel bag, yeah.
Bag.
Yeah.
You could fit a child
Yeah.
in a duffel bag. It works.
I think all the
Still
wacky was
wacky.
really like a believable wacky. It was wacky that Millhouse was really good at lacrosse. It was wacky that Kirk was a really good coach when we all know him as a screw up his whole life.
It's the wacky where it wouldn't happen, not that it couldn't. happen.
But it's such a weird sport that it kind of makes sense for them because it is like it's a jock sport, but it's sort of a bit geeky in a way.
Definitely.
Oh, I forgot to mention they did a repeat gag of something they've done before where he goes, lacrosse, and they go, what cross? What? And that goes back to, you want to join my what? You want to what his team? And jokes like that.
Yeah. Yeah. You're
Anyway,
right.
I thought it was a bad rehash. But did you feel the heart?
Yeah, man. Like Homer really caring about his kids being happy and putting up with a shitty friend because look how happy my kids' heads are. And
Yeah, and then at the end where he says, "Kirk, I may not like you, but I respect you."
Oh, man, that was great.
good. That actually landed a lot
that was
better.
a bit Anchorman-y to me, you know? I don't like you, but damn it, do I respect you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I mean that's fine because you don't have to like everybody, but he gives them respect,
Yeah.
and that's what Kirk really lacks, especially living with Luann. So yeah, I think that landed a lot better than I was expecting at that point.
Yeah, you really watched it get through to Kirk, and it got through to all of us. Also, the part at the start with the buddy.
Yeah.
Didn't that just ring true with everybody? You're just like, yeah, I know exactly what's happening here.
I felt that the only part that was really ham-fisted was the big Marge and Homer spinning kiss.
Yeah, that
Like-
felt like
Yeah.
a reference to a
yeah.
sports movie or something.
Oh, that
Could
would
be.
That's
make
my
I don't watch
feeling.
sports movies.
Yeah, well, I watch movies, so I'm guessing it from that.
It
but it's
feels like a
the-
trope, definitely.
Yeah, you've got to go out there and win it, honey. Now kiss me. And then they have, the camera spins around, the audience cheers, and the fireworks
Yeah.
go off. and
Yeah.
Then you go out and you win the big game. I mean, that's
Well,
how it
you got
happened
to
to me.
after a kiss like that.
I know you can't lose after that kind of makeup.
You're
Trouble
like
is if
Parker
they-
Lewis after that.
But if their team does a kiss like that, you're like, well, we got to up the
We're
ante.
fucked.
We need some Eagles and some Jets or something. That's the real pregame show.
We need some orphans that are dying, and if we're going to score some
There's a
touchdowns.
little crippled boy.
who wants you to win this game.
Elliot, what did you think about the heart?
I thought they went for it and it landed enough, but it's not like super saccharine heart, It's not lovey-dovey heart. It's just regular friendship heart and even lack of
Or
friendship.
tolerance heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very mature in that sense, learning to accept the unacceptable.
Learning to accept the Kurtz of this world.
For real. Because there are many of them. I'm looking at you, whoever's listening to this.
Yeah. Especially you, Terry. And I'll just freak out any Terrys that are listening.
I apologize to all the Terrys.
I don't.
Yes or no, do you want to watch it again? Not now, but...
Yeah, not now, but I'd sort of be curious to see how it stood up to the second screening.
Yeah,
you
I'd
know?
be curious on that one. It's like, I don't want to watch it for entertainment purposes, but for understanding purposes.
Yeah, like it doesn't seem terrible.
Like we're scientists
It doesn't
observing
quite
this.
seem
Yeah.
amazing, and I think I'm going to have to walk away and digest it before I really kind of come to how I feel about it.
But yeah, it'd be for the see if you can recreate the results in a different lab.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
Give me some time. We'll get
right.
back to you.
How about you, Claire? You want to watch it again?
Yeah, I think so. It was quite weird to me because I've been watching episodes where I've laughed through it and then not enjoyed it when I've actually thought about it, and it's made me really
Yeah.
annoyed.
Yeah.
Whereas this one's kind of the opposite. Like I didn't actually laugh that much during it, but when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, this was quite funny. So it was quite strange. But yeah, I'd watch it again. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I'd definitely watch it. I have watched it again. This is like the third time I've seen it. So if you were to put it in a playlist, what would the theme be?
Sports, 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 sports,
Yeah.
sports, sports,
Yeah.
sports, sports.
Yeah, that nails it. And are there many episodes where Homer's got a reluctant friend or
Homer buddy movies. What about like Grimesy?
Or Flanders.
Yeah.
Flanders, yeah.
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 Flanders being that like the friend with Homer clinging
Yeah,
onto
Flanders
him.
playing the Homer with Homer being the
The Kirk.
Dang, that was...
Yeah.
I swear I could have said that better.
And the other reluctant friendship one, the one where Ralph tries to be Bart's friend.
Yep.
Or
That's a cute one.
Lisa's girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ralph's had a rough time.
Road trip movies. They had like the van,
Yeah,
like,
going to
mixtape
the
and
Super
stuff.
Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, I
yeah.
actually really did like his dead stare throughout the end of the road trip. Just
Yeah.
like he'd shut down. He was somewhere else.
So let's rank this thing. So we rank our episodes on our patented index. They are patented.
Because after
Wait,
30 episodes,
two.
you guys have no idea.
This could be their first.
I've been told it helps reaffirm your mission statement if you repeat shit like this.
Mission statement.
Like a cult. I love it.
And we rank our episodes on the official 6-point scale. No,
Praise to the cubic zircony.
All praise. All praise.
all the praise. So we rank episodes on the Simpsons Index patented 6-point scale, which starts down at the very bottom at failure, or it can work its way up to a participant, and then getting better from there, you go bronze, silver, gold, or for the best of the very best, the essential, the best. Best episodes, Cubic Zirconia.
What kind of
Praise.
episodes of Cubic Zirconia ones,
They're
Elliot?
the best.
Praise, praise, praise.
So, with that in mind, who knows where they're voting? Because I don't.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah? What are you giving it?
I'm actually giving it a silver.
Wow.
I know. I really didn't think so, but while we were talking about it, I feel like it's for its time especially, but overall it's a fairly good episode. There are so many worser episodes out there, and it's very close to being a great episode. It's like the pacing's great, the timing's great, the story's cohesive. I think the jokes, not all of them land. Some of them are funny though. And you know, it wouldn't take a lot of tweaking to turn it into a really good episode. And there's gold above it. There's still cubic zirconia above it. Who knows? Maybe there's some sort of super cubic zirconia even above that we haven't even cracked yet.
There isn't. We've been to space and we've looked.
There's only 6. Yeah. Who's next then?
I'll take. Yeah. I'm similar but different. I started at a heavy participant. I even wrote at the bottom, totally passable, absolutely acceptable. But through talking about it, I've kind of grown to appreciate it. It's yeah, if it was a bit heavier on jokes and a bit tighter on some of the plot points, I could have pushed it a little bit higher. I'm going to say bronze, but it's gone up from a participant. And that's something that very rarely happens because I usually follow.
It has positives.
Yeah, when you have this many guts, you tend to trust them. And but this is one time where discussions made it better.
There we go. How about you, Claire?
That's pretty much exactly what I was going to say. So can you stop reading my mind, please?
But it's so interesting.
Damn it, those protein strands, give them back.
I'm only through like 14 chapters.
Yeah, I actually, when I finished, I was like, yeah, participant. This is very...
I believe you angrily muttered it at the beginning there.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I'd already made up my mind. But yeah, like, that's the thing. We did talk about it. I can't see why, you know, when the scale has bronze above it, that it wouldn't be a bronze, because there is definitely worse, like, between there and failure. You know, there is something that falls between there and failure. So bronze.
Yeah. And yeah, for me to get a passing credit, it's got to be an episode that I want to watch again. And if I'm going to watch, and if I want to watch it again, that immediately calls it a bronze. It is so close for silver for me. It is such a high bronze in my mind, but it is a bronze. It is a bronze.
Wow.
Because I have a couple of fundamental faults with it. I know this is a weird thing for me. I'm the nice one.
3 bronzes and a silver. It's a pretty sparkly bronze or a tarnished silver?
Shiny bronze.
Shiny bronze.
Yeah.
Tarnished silver. That sounds so much worse than shiny bronze.
All right, so that does it for our HD episode. Now we're going to go to the awkward teens.
What are we watching?
We are watching Codependence Day because Rogue One came out and that's a Star Wars.
Oh, I get it.
And this episode has a Star Wars theme.
I also get it. Careful, Chewie.
We are back and it is fucking hot in Australia, by the way. Like, it was like 30 degrees at 5 a.m.
Hey, they don't speak Celsius. That's like 900,000 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
to the
looking at
dot.
a day standard of 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
We just watched our teens episode, season 15, episode 15, Codependence Day. But before we get into that, we have a new regular segment for the second segment of our show called Corrections Department.
Oh.
And this week on the Corrections Department, Feast was not a Pixar-produced film, and it did not air before Inside Out. It was a it was a Disney-produced short that aired before Big Hero 6.
Okay. Well,
Which I like that movie.
while we're on the subject, corrections. Cards Against Humanity did not receive $80,000 to dig a hole. They received over $100,000 to dig a hole in protest of Black.
Wow. How about in protest of Black Friday?
Yep.
Yeah, don't
Like the
spend
shopping
don't
day?
spend all your bullshit money at the bullshit shops and their sale. It's capitalist.
I actually thought you said in protest of black matter, and I was like,
Wow.
yeah, that does seem like a cause we should get behind. Like, what the hell is black matter?
Stock dark
No.
matter before it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Black Matter Matters.
Oh.
Season 13, episode 13, Old Man in the Key was the first appearance of Planet Hollywood Jacket Guy.
Yes.
The full phonetics that the cop Eddie read on the license plate of Snake's car was Eggplant Xerxes Crybaby Overbite Narwhal.
Xerxes.
Yeah.
Xerxes. What else starts with X? Literally nothing.
Baby.
That has been
Xena,
it for
I
the
guess.
Simpsons Index Corrections Department. So, back to the episode at hand. Which,
That department is getting busy.
so we just watched Codependence Day, a.k.a. this is the one where, after being dissatisfied with the latest Cosmic Wars movie, Bart and Lisa go decide to complain to the creator, Randall Curtis, and they do that to success. And then it turns into a story about Homer and Marge enjoying boozing it up with each other, and then Homer does something horrible to Marge, which stops that in its tracks. Guys, what did you think?
Am I allowed to whistle on a microphone? Is that like?
Yeah,
taboo?
whistling's fine.
That felt good. I'm not sold on it, man. Hey guys, convince me that I should be sold on it.
No.
No.
Damn.
No, I'm doing the same thing I did. I'm coming in low on our ranking scale. I'm going to see if it gets any higher. I feel like this one won't, though.
Yeah.
Well, because this is actually one where, Claire, you were saying in the last one that we watched where there weren't actually that many laughs, but, theoretically, story-wise and everything else, it lined up. This is one where it's the opposite.
Yep.
I had a lot of laugh-out-loud moments in this episode, but ultimately I hate it.
Yeah, the gags were there, but
And the story sucked.
as a whole, it was unfulfilling, very
No,
unsatisfying.
We'll get there, but I really hate the conclusion. I didn't even really notice the first time I watched this, but it's genuinely
it's
terrible.
morally bankrupt.
Oh man, yeah.
So, I like to sort of do the A and B stories separately,
Sure.
which sort of works really well for this one because it is an A and a B story, but A is so self-contained in the
A
first
disappears
act.
so quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so totally, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
with absolutely no actual resolution. That's the thing. It disappears without anything actually being achieved from that storyline.
This is like the George Lucas storyline.
Who's
Yeah.
George Lucas?
Randall Curtis.
Oh,
Damn.
Randall. Okay.
So this is when they do their parallel import gag where, instead of Star Wars, it's Cosmic Wars, and instead of George Lucas, it's Randall Curtis. Instead of Jar Jar Binks, it's Jim Jam Bonks.
Yeah, it is one of those things where I don't know if they're avoiding it because they have to legally, or I don't know.
The other fascinating thing is this episode came out in like 2004, like 5 years after The Phantom Menace.
Well, Phantom Menace didn't have as many Senate scenes as like the latter ones. I think it's Attack of the Clones have way more Senate scenes.
Oh, really?
From memory. A memory of a movie I've watched literally once.
Yeah, I took everyone's advice and avoided the prequels.
Any sort of, when we have to compare the number of Senate voting scenes between the two movies,
Yeah,
you
you've
know,
got-
Oh, let's start a podcast doing that.
The Senate Voting Podcast. An online spreadsheet that's also a podcast. That's also a podcast.
Well, look, as a joke, actually, I quite enjoyed the movie and why it was boring and how boring it was.
Yep.
Even that little like tongue-in-cheek thing, like, oh God, what a stereotype, and you've got like,
Italian chef.
Italian chef, yeah.
Oh, I hated that
I like that
joke.
at the beginning it veered too much.
Yeah, that's it.
Why
It-
the
it
fuck
could've
is he
just been
doing
just-
his photo shoot in the middle of a movie theater?
That's it. It needed to be like small and quick, just like a little nod to, yeah, he's such a stereotype,
Yeah,
you
and
know,
that's it.
and
Cut
then
after
that's
that.
enough, like enough to
he's-
just go, ha, that's a joke,
Yeah,
and then
because he's
move
sitting
on.
there with his spaghetti, and that's enough.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I liked the crawl and even like I liked the banality of the Senate scenes, but I thought they dragged it out.
It
too
was
long.
predictable. The whole gag was that it was going on a bit too much, but it was really like standard issue. Oh, he's gonna keep reading out the names. Yeah, it's gonna keep. Yeah, it's gonna keep. Yeah, there it is.
I didn't mind the little like robot
Oh, the AT-AT.
the
has
glasses
the
come
half
down,
glasses
you know.
come down.
That was all right.
It's like the AT-AT's version of having a chain around your neck.
Exactly.
And then it sits down and reads the paper, and the page turns, and the page turns.
Yeah.
And you're just like, come on, man, we get the gag. We get the gag.
I like the throw to Otto in the
Oh
other
yes,
theater, though.
how good
like,
was that movie?
That was
Yeah.
so weird.
It was
I
weird,
like
but I
the-
enjoyed it.
Yeah, I like the run of the joke where he's like, one to Cosmic Wars, please. And like, this is for, what was it? I don't know, Regrets of Tomorrow, whatever serious Oscar contender
Call
movie.
Baby Minor, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, man. He goes in, but then
And so he
cuts to
goes
him
and
really
watches
getting
it.
touched by it. I like that. It's a dumb joke, but I enjoy it.
Declaring that Margaret Thatcher has got a lot to answer for.
Well, my God, the amount of blood on that woman's hands, it'll never come out. Good thing she's already dead.
Oh yeah, she is too.
And then we basically, it's not quite then, but we're already pretty much wrapping up this whole arc.
We're halfway through that arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the time we know the complaint, it's almost over.
Yeah, so the movie ends, and comic book guy, I like his line of, I'm only going to see it 3 more times today.
You're at the part where they walk out in front of the queue waiting to see the movie, and it's the classic, Darth Vader's Luke's father bit. You can see it coming because they all walk out talking about the movie, and there's a queue of people waiting to see the movie, and they don't do the spoiler bit. Why was there a queue? Did they stop there?
Oh, so comic book guy goes, I'm going to see it again, and then he goes to the back of that line to go see it again.
Also, what do you spoil in that?
I know.
I can't believe those trade tariffs passed.
I think the joke of them offending the next people going in is too obvious because I'm pretty sure they've done that before.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
sure. It's a.
I'm pretty sure everybody
gag.
has done it before. Yeah.
Lisa and Bart go home to Marge and Homer, and they complain, and then
And then they write an angry letter, and then the letter gets ignored. And
they have that bit about the weather girl, and Homer's like, Marge, how dare you get rid of the weather girl?
Marge, how dare you make the weather girl wear a bra?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was,
Yeah,
right?
to show how writing letters does achieve things. So stop gouging a hole in the floor, Bart. I did like Bart's little destructive,
Oh, yeah.
Like, that
I'm
was
so
very
cranky, I'm going to
classic.
dig a hole in the floor.
Yeah.
Ha!
Like
And
when
then
he
he
just
does.
rips up the carpet and things like that. That was very Bart.
Even
moment.
Bart's complaint letter, that's pretty much the internet.
Yeah.
Only with more swearing.
Yeah.
I'm so angry at this stupid butt of a movie. That's not a direct quote.
So they get the response from Randall Lucas, and he sends them. He says, "Thank you for your kind letter. Here's a photo of your new favorite character, Jim Jam Bongs." They're pissed off that he ignored them. So Marge is like, "Oh well, he lives in wine country. Let's go to wine country," and that sets them off on an adventure to wine country.
Woo. Where they talk to the creator of the movie, and he instantly regrets all his decisions and vows to do better because of their one line.
Does that mean
Yup.
that the rest of the movie, what you'd say the main plot of the episode is actually the B plot? Because that's the one that starts well after the A plot is like wrapping up.
We've had this discussion before. How do you count A or B? Is A the one that takes the most time, or is it? I
the
usually
first
go with
one?
whatever's introduced first is A.
Yeah, and he totally just instantly goes, "Yeah, I'm going to go back to ripping off westerns and samurai movies."
Which, to be fair, is what he did.
Yeah.
I actually liked that. I thought that was a funny little joke.
It was, but unfortunately the storyline got wrapped up so quickly, and then it ends with Marge and Homer coming back from their wine tour all drunk and throwing Randall Curtis like a game of piggy in the middle.
Yep.
So like the first act is basically the Simpsons way of saying the new Star Wars movies are boring, but the old Star Wars movies were rip-offs anyway. Is that sort of the moral, the message you take away from that?
Well,
And George Lucas is a midget, I guess.
And George
I
Lucas
guess.
is a midget. That was a big
And
thing.
also, like, if you don't like something, what you actually do is turn up and then they give the Fox Studios address. I thought that was like, again, it was the kind of joke that made me smile.
There was another Fox joke where before the Cosmic Wars movie they went, Fox Studios, a division of Orange Julius Corp. Nice little callback to an Orange
and I
Julius.
do quickly want to say I like the name Lush Valley Winery because to us in this country, lush just is short for luscious, but in America, lush means drunk.
Oh, okay.
So you're a drunkard if you're a lush.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it became more general in Australia, because we're just perpetually drunk.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lush, mate. Yeah, you lush.
We say lush so many times a day.
Yep, it's a name of a store that just sells cosmetics.
I know, and they're really good.
Marge dips her toes in the wine thing. Did you have anything to say about their little visit, their first visit to the wine stand before their story kicks off?
Oh, Homer was being a bit of an ass. Like, even before they started drinking. Like, who am I going to complain about if you're there? Like,
I hate the joke that came after it, which was Marge saying, "Don't run because the doctor said your knees will shatter," and he goes,
yeah.
"Oh, that'll be okay. Hey, you're gonna catch me now." And it's this joke that I hate, where it's like, "Oh yeah, I got brain damage the other day." When they
it's the forced jump right into what they're talking about.
Instant setup and payoff. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only time that I've liked that is in 30 Rock, where Liz, she blows her nose and then goes, "Oh my god, that's a piece of brain. I hope it's not an important part of my blurn."
Or shit, can't remember. And we're back. Never mind.
I didn't mind that joke. I don't mind the instant setup and knockdown, but the entire scene for me was just like, oh, look, it's the classic thing. When you're married, you hate each other. Like,
But it was like Homer explaining it and Marge sort of being like, oh, everything's fine.
I like Homer's childlike giddiness for that moment of, you'll have to catch me, but yeah, it's not a great setup and media knockdown. He's got a line I don't know how I feel about yet where she's like, I want to spend time with you, homie. You're my best friend. He goes, well, you're my best friend legally. It's like, that's like,
It's a very jerk-ass Homer episode.
Oh, my
especially coming off the back of Nice Homer in the last episode.
Yeah.
Like, what happened to you, man?
I do like another bit of Marge humor here. Just her naivete, her where she's drinking the wine. She says, "Ooh, that goes great with the Jolly Rancher I'm sucking."
Man, that was
classic
weird.
bad at drinking wine jokes.
Yeah.
I was like, quick interjection. The George Lucas parody is like a two-fingered typist. I found that mildly amusing
Why is that?
because it's funny.
Just the
No, that
visual
he's-
bit of him doing two-fingered typing?
No,
Yeah,
just
well, he's
the implication that he's a bad screenwriter because he can't even type properly.
Oh, okay. I missed that entirely.
Well, maybe it's just me, and maybe I have high standards of typing,
I'm a writer. I tend to notice how other people write.
and how they're doing it wrong. I don't know. I just
Are you a
like it.
four-fingered typer on a keyboard, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I use my feet as well.
All four of them?
Well, I don't want to unfold the other ones in public, but yeah. That's why I type nude.
So Homer starts bringing Marge to Moe's.
Mm-hmm. And I do like a
And-
moment of, but that's your place, and now we're going together, and yay, we're doing things as a couple. It's kind of cute.
Just like my place at the lamp shop.
Yes, that was
Yeah,
cute.
that was cute. Again, another bit of Marge moment.
Yeah.
Although Homer's favorite cup, Nasty Girl, was that? I missed that joke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nasty girl.
I didn't-
Oh, we
I-
keep the laundry detergent under it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So how is it his favorite cup? Like, I don't understand.
My favorite cup I haven't used for 8 years. It's
Yeah.
like if he had said, my wine cup, because he never drinks wine, then
Yeah.
sure, that would have worked. But,
So yeah, I don't like it when they go to Moe's and they do the
black
classic
books
old
thing.
wine gag.
yeah. Well, all I've got this is old dusty bottle. What's that say? Chateau Latour, 1886. Well, I'll just
$4
serve it,
each.
and then I'll give you $4, and then I'll look up how much it. Wow.
Then they just doubled down and made it more annoying with
Oh,
William
the Shakespeare
Shakespeare's
book.
lost play. I'm like, oh, just stop this joke now.
The fact that you even say
Yeah.
William Shakespeare's lost play, this couldn't possibly be worth anything, even though I know the author and I know it's lost. It's like, no, come on.
I did like the montage of them drinking though, surprisingly.
Yeah,
like
it's,
with
it's a
Yeah.
cute montage.
Marge with the wine dome head and
Yeah.
Homer crushing the wine bottle against his head.
That was really unpleasant for me
Yeah.
to watch for some reason.
Really?
It is like for weird reasons. But I do like, this is one of the few times we've seen Homer and Marge having fun together. Like, that's very rare without sex involved, come to think of it.
Snuggling.
Without snuggling sex involved.
Yeah, like exhibitionist sex involved or mini golf involved.
Yeah, mini golf sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Homer pushing something into his forehead is much more likely to go into his fucking
Yeah.
forehead, you know?
Especially glass.
Oh
It's
my
like that
God,
one where he
man.
squeezes the penny and it goes into his bloodstream.
Or the caterpillar thing crawls through his head and then just like burrows into the...
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And then he just gets, oh God, it's gone. Good. I did like the little gag where she's wearing like not the beer hat but the wine hat, and
Yep.
it's so annoying because it's such big bottles and her big hair, and the person behind her is just like, what the?
It was a good visual bit.
It was
yeah.
cute. Yeah.
And I like the next bit where Marge is hungover because we've all been there. We're Australian.
Oh, man. Yep.
That
The
little
We're
moustache,
drinking right now.
That like hyper realistic micro.
Super zoomed in
Yeah.
on Flanders curving his
And they
moustache.
super zoom in on the sound as well.
Yeah.
It was a really well represented hangover. I really empathized with her there.
And even like doubling down on the stupid where they're exaggerating the sound effects. It's like, oh, Homer, do you have to stomp around like that? Got to break my ski boots in sometime.
Yeah.
But yeah, here's where the episode starts going off the rails for me personally. Wait, it was already off the
It
rails.
was already off the rails.
This is where it goes like
This is-
bad.
yeah.
It goes from like participant to fail.
It was looking pretty good for a little while there, but then it starts crashing.
Yep.
The Bible and the Gospel according to
Oh,
Puke.
yeah. Yeah, it was really weak.
And they keep bringing this fucking Bible back.
They let it hang on for way too long as well.
Yeah.
But first we go to Oktoberfest, and
Oh, and Duffman doing Hitler.
no, okay, he's wearing a World War I helmet. That's under the Kaiser. That's not Hitler.
But yeah, the Duff I don't know what you want to call him, Hitler Kaiser thing. Yeah, that did
Kaiser.
not
They
sell
were
it well
doing
with
a
me.
Nazi bit. They were.
Because otherwise
Well-
they wouldn't have stopped it. And I'm even Jewish. It's like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have stopped and done that if you were legitimate passing off as just him just performing at a German place.
Again, and it was gross enough without him going, and I'm Jewish. This is why. This is bad.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
very
Yeah.
over-explaining.
It's already bad.
Yeah.
But I do like when Marge is like, I'll just have one. They give her a huge one. She's like, this is massive. Just nurse it. And they're like, nurse it.
Nurse,
it.
nurse.
it.
Yeah.
Nurse it. That was good.
And this is when it takes a horrible, horrible turn.
Yep.
Where
I wrote down super
Wait.
jerk Homer.
No.
wait,
before
there is
that,
one more good. Yeah.
carrying her to the car, that was really cute. Like with her talking about like
Why do people ever walked on stilts?
Yeah.
It's not that
hard. Yes, I know you've already told me several times. Like I thought that up until that point, I was still enjoying it. Actually,
It's still kinda cute,
Even with
yeah.
like a few of the shitty jokes earlier, I was like, no, I'm liking this episode. This is pretty cute.
Actually, you were quoting along with Homer giving himself the pep talk for drunk driving.
Oh, that's right.
Worryingly, yes.
I better not drive. I'm way too drunk to drive. Wait a second. I shouldn't listen to me. I'm drunk.
Yeah. We've all done that. Not necessarily for driving, but for, I shouldn't listen to me. What do I know? I'm wasted.
I
Yeah.
do like it kept going, like, okay, what are the rules for driving drunk? Firstly, such a
Such a
like
bad.
an oxymoron.
Drive
then-
slow, but not too
Not
slow.
too slow, and have a Coke, to keep you awake, and it's just pouring up to the ceiling, and that's when you
man.
realize he's already well past any
He's already
hope.
crashed,
Yeah.
already upside down.
But good visual bit. But then, the cops turn up. And, in short, Homer moves Marge into his seat and does just the most awful thing you could do to a person. And the funny
you can
thing
murder
is...
them.
Pardon?
You can murder them. You can torture them for 36 hours and then murder. There are worse things you can do than get them arrested for your DUI.
That's true. I'm thinking about 7 right now. 8,
You
9,
really shouldn't
10,
be.
Stop looking
Just
at me.
thinking about those.
77.
Wow. Okay, so it's about the 100th worst thing you could do to a person.
Look, it's a shitty thing, and even he says, this is a new low for me, and then he
It's
goes back to doing the bird calls.
Spoiler alert, they don't learn anything from it, and it sucks. And another thing that stuck out to me about this episode is I remember watching it and then watching an episode of Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew, and one of the people on the show did that exact thing, and he got the idea from the episode. I'm not saying, blame Simpsons, fucking ban the show. No, I'm not one of
No.
those people.
But
I'm
at
just
least
saying...
get the idea from Arrested Development. I mean, that was a good episode.
Look,
Yeah, but at least that wasn't drunk driving, and at least we know Lucille is a deplorable character already by that point. It's like, this Homer doing this, it was a new low, and it was an unnecessary new low.
and that's the thing, I think, because it was a new low, and you know what, honestly, I was still with it. I was still with the episode. I hadn't written it off at that point, because he actually said, this is a new low for me. Like, I thought, this is building up.
We can go somewhere from here.
We can go somewhere. And if they just resolved it with a little bit more of humility or heart, instead of just the usual, like, Homer, make a small change, please. And then he makes a small, meaningless change. And all of a sudden she loves him again. He learns nothing. And it's passed off as a huge joke. Like, it's almost like Marge was at fault for being mad at him.
That's
Yeah.
one of my last notes is, then it's like Marge needs to learn the revelation, ...
Yeah, if Homer had come up and gone, look, I just wanted to still, like, I knew I was going to get in trouble and you were going to be mad at me, but this way I could still hang out with you. Like, it would still be a shitty episode, and, that's not an ideal finish, but
Wouldn't...
at least it's Homer realizing what he actually wanted was he really liked spending time with her. He didn't want that to end. He didn't want her to be angry with him or something.
He didn't
and, like,
have that moment.
No,
Yeah,
he
just
really
not at
didn't.
all. He just didn't give two shits, really.
Because he literally goes, this is a new low for me, but everything worked out just fine. So
Back to making bird calls in the bushes.
And even afterwards, like when he goes and visits her in jail, and he's just like, but you do believe it, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
at first he looks a little bit guilty, and then it's just more like worried that she's going to...
Well, at that point, I was happy to take that as a joke because it felt like we're going to move to
Yeah,
the
true.
point. But
it's just looking back.
He goes
you
to
realize
Moe's,
it's just-
Yeah.
and Moe's like, "Oh, this is the worst thing I've ever heard anyone do ever in my life. You disgust me. You should be drinking beer from a chipped glass and sitting on a stool with a jagged nail in
in
it."
fact, here you go, and move over one.
Which
Oh.
I liked that bit. I wish it ended there because then they doubled down on the stupid where he goes, "Can I have some peanuts?" All right, I'm going to poke you with a stick. Then Homer never takes any peanuts.
Yeah.
Just you're getting poked with a stick for this. May as well eat them.
And Yeah, they're back at the house, and Lisa's starting to call Homer on some of his shit. Seat was in your setting, and none
How
of
would
this
she know
adds
that?
up.
Of course, not
She read
important.
the
Not important.
Read the police reports.
dossier.
They were, released online.
Yeah.
Lisa's the only one that understands the internet.
Oh, she's hired on as a contract detective.
Mm-hmm.
And then Homer does this fucking call waiting bit, which I liked for the first.
Yep.
The first time?
Yeah.
For a
well,
second.
The first 10 seconds in each bit, but then to do it twice and to do it for that long loses.
And then just to run away at the end as well.
Yep.
And especially MacArthur Park, where he stops halfway through the sentence and goes back to the la 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 la.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
so like the arrogance of Homer that I don't like.
Super
Shit.
jerk ass Homer.
Super jerk ass Homer. And so Marge is at rehab, and she doesn't really like it because she doesn't think it's affecting. The drinkers are smoking, smokers are drinking, gamblers are having sex with everybody. I actually like that, but didn't think much of the delivery of it.
No.
It's a good sentence. Like, that would look good written down.
True.
But then the gambler coming along and like, hey baby, let's go fuck.
Want to see what I'm holding? Get it? Nod, nod, wink, wink. Get it, audience?
Want to
I
play
mean
with
penis.
a stud. Other poker, sexy metaphors. Yeah.
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 So Homer confesses to Marge what happens, and then she's like, oh, fuck you. And she goes back in the room and says, I need a drink. And I like that they were all holding, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like sea captain's cocktails in his
And she's
leg.
like, give me another, just keep the whole leg.
Yeah.
Keep the whole leg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I even like the little Marge and
Agnes?
Agnes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
being
I was going to be like Mama Skinner. I don't know.
Still accurate.
That little, how you feeling, Big Blue? Like, that was actually quite
It's a moment of
sweet
camaraderie.
in a way. And
Yeah.
even Agnes's like flashback. Yeah, I was drunk on love, and then 9 months later, Seymour plopped out. I would have kept walking, but there were all these cops around. Like,
I like the idea she's given birth while walking and can keep
and just
stride.
wants to keep going. Like, ugh, just
She's
leave
that
it.
stubborn that she ignores her own
Yeah,
birthing pains.
contractions. just doesn't. Just keeps walking.
Drags the child along by the fucking umbilical cord,
Mm-hmm.
can't get away. But I didn't mind that moment. I thought that was fun. But yeah, the whole revelation, like, it sounds like you actually.
Hooked
Enjoyed
on love.
spending
Hooked
time
on
with
love.
Homer.
And I mean, that was fairly obvious from the beginning. She's never been a drinking person. She actually literally said right at the beginning, but you're my best friend. I
Yeah.
want to do things with you. This is not a revelation she had to have.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Even halfway through the episode, she's like, look, I want to hang out with you, but I don't want to
Let's
drink anymore.
less.
Like, will I still have fun hanging out with you? She just wants, like,
Yeah.
how is this new information? Oh
And-
my God.
Yeah, he's just being a
True.
jerk till the end. He's drinking his Bible dry, and
Oh, man. They spent so much time on that fucking Bible.
Mhm. And then at the end, he's like, "No, this is a real Bible, not the one with my flask in it."
No!
My God.
and yeah, just to round out the story, because yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a bad joke with Otto going, oh, I need some love. Oh, can you eject it between my toes? My mom checks on my
That
arms.
was weirdly
My
dark.
mom
That
as
was
checks
well.
my
dark.
arms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was not like.
And then, yeah,
Cute,
Homer
funny.
promises, okay, yeah, here's my promise to you, Marge. I'm going to quit rum, except mojitos and rum-based cocktails.
Rum
He's
and
like,
Coke.
Rum and Coke.
Rum and Coke. And then...
He's like, I need a real promise. He's like, fine, I'll give up all clear liquors. It's like, ooh,
Because he's always on the vodka.
yeah, no, he's not exactly sculling beer every single time we see him.
No, and yeah, that's where my biggest problem with the episode comes in.
But the closest you get to them being called out on that is the rehab guy goes, well, you clearly have a drinking problem. You're clearly in denial. But it's also then played off like, we're fine. So it's similar to, I don't know, when they don't get into the country club and at the end they're just eating at Krusty Burger and they're like, we found out we're just happy here. And the guy's like, are you insane? This place is terrible.
When they get rid
Yeah.
of Mary Poppins and they're just like, we're happy being
Yeah,
dickhead
just
people.
the way we are. It's like it's going for that, but it misses it so heavily.
Because
Yeah.
instead of them all being
Equally bad.
equally bad, or even
Accepting
the
of
country club
faults.
one was Marge letting it get to a head. That was the theory behind that. But this was just Homer being a piece of shit,
Yeah.
and nothing good came of it. Like, they didn't actually find any peace. She just once again settled.
It feels worse than anything else. You're
Yeah.
like, well, this is literally
You've given up,
You've given
Marge.
up. Not even you feel like you can't get anything else, and you may as well just stay. It's like that's actually super sad, and gonna need to go hug some puppies now.
Which means, It's time for the questionnaire.
I love the questionnaire. Can I hug it?
So storyline-wise, yeah, it was an A and a B, but A was so self-contained in the first act and, like, it's not
Yeah,
traditional
it
like that.
vanishes so quickly you could skip it entirely.
Did it feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
No.
Start over here.
I'm going to say absolutely not, because normally Simpsons, you have your conflict and your drama, but there's some kind of lesson or moralism to take out of it. And in this, it just isn't there. And the more I think about it, the more I dislike it and the angrier I get.
Yeah.
So I've gone from being nonchalant about this episode to actually hating it.
You know what, though? I think it still did feel like an episode of The Simpsons because there are enough episodes where Homer is a piece of shit and Marge just lets it go. So it's an annoying episode of The Simpsons, but it's actually not that, like, un-Simpsons-y. Yeah, it's not that out of character for whatever particular Homer they've decided to
I mean,
portray
there is
that
that.
day.
It just feels like this is a very different delivery of that point. I mean, like, we've got the...
but only right at the end.
Yeah, but we've got, say, was it the Brad Goodman, where he's like, I'm feeling a lot of shame. It's like, I'm hearing your shame, but also feeling tolerance and forgiveness. It's like
It's
they feel-
clever, though. You
they
have to
haven't-
think about why that sucks that he did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get to the point where you know they're going for easy answers, and you know there's still the problem, but it's that's the joke. Whereas in this, it's like, and everything's fine again. It's like, it's not. Everything is still terrible.
But you know what? Like, there are plenty of times that Homer has been awful and Marge has forgiven him. I can't think of off the top of my head. And, like, even the ones where he has come to a realization, sometimes they've been really weak. Like, just the one where Marge just gets a female friend, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's such an asshole. Like, he makes her life so difficult. Like, he's whinging the whole time. He acts out like a child. And right at the end, the only thing that...
When she joins the musical.
Oh, when she joins a musical. Another time where he's a complete piece of shit.
Well,
Another episode that I actually don't view favorably.
Really?
I will get there. But
Yeah,
I would say in those ones you know
Bronze at
he's
best.
wrong, though. And in this, he's not portrayed as being wrong.
He's not
Yeah.
portrayed as being wrong.
I think at the end they lose it. Like, I think they start off portraying him as being wrong because they definitely drive that home. Like, this is a new low.
Yeah.
And Mo being, like, disgusted. And Mo is, pretty, like, amoral himself.
It wasn't driven into Homer, though. That's
No,
the problem.
that's the problem.
And I don't know if that's so much of an integrity problem as it is, like,
True.
just an isolated storytelling in this moment. But, like, ultimately, I've got to say the jokes felt very Simpsons-y. And, like, we laughed at several points in this episode. And there were moments that felt like The Simpsons. But, yeah, I think the morals were just fucked up. And the storytelling was fucked up. Anything about feeling the episode?
Man, I think you guys are really, you're hitting it.
Which one of us, though? We said two different things.
I know, but I like that we're discussing. It feels good.
Our spectrum of opinions have resonated with him.
Yeah.
What's in your heart, Danny? Tell me about your heart.
We're not talking about the heart yet.
Tell me about the feel-good
But
rainbow.
I'm not even thinking about the message of the episode particularly. Not
Just
not
the vibes?
here. Just how Simpsons-y it feels. Because
Yeah.
Simpsons has, happy and sad, good episodes and bad episodes, where they're good people and bad people. But there's a certain, there's a certain timing to it. There's a certain quality, and there's,
A je ne sais quoi.
there sure
a
is.
certain,
Yeah.
I don't know what.
A rhythm. You might
I'm sure it's become like a trope for me to really hate the episodes that take a sharp left turn into the second act. But at what point is that indicative of what it is to be a Simpsons episode? But I mean, how many times do they have to do that totally unrelated first act before that becomes what it means to be a Simpsons episode? It's
Well, it's weird because this one has the totally unrelated first act that gets them somewhere else entirely, but that actually gets resolved even though it is really, really quick to resolve.
Yeah.
So at
Yeah.
least it feels more organic.
And its resolution was so ham-fisted and quick.
It
and-
was, but think of the other ones where, it's just gone being 5 different places, then got to
Yeah.
the point. This at least has one point that is unrelated and resolves really quickly, but at least it gets you where you need to go organically.
Yeah, but the first act, I think, didn't have a strong direction to it. Didn't have a strong resolution. None of the gags were really funny. The whole gag was how boring the act was to watch, and it was boring. That makes it boring to watch.
Okay, I feel, all right, when you ask the question, does it feel like a Simpsons episode? It's not so much about what happened in the episode. It's about how the characters acted in the episode. Were they true to their character? Now, basically, I think everybody was, except we could argue Homer. But at the same time, there have been so many different Homers. He's the one character that has actually changed drastically from episode to episode as to how stupid he is, how mean he is, how much of a good father he is, how much of a, intelligent,
how selfish, how competent.
Whatever. Like, everything changes depending on the plot. So the fact that he's an unlikable shithead in this one, we can say shithead online, can't we?
Sure,
you can
we
say all the
can.
fucking cunting things you want.
Wow, charming.
Dribble juice.
Nice.
Wow, that actually sounds way more gross than you
Doesn't
expected
it
it to. But yeah, yes, he's an asshole and he's unlikable, and you don't want it to be an episode of The Simpsons, but I think it is.
Yeah, I see your point. The characters are pretty on point, although Homer, knew low, but... And I think it's a twofold question, though. It's the characters and the integrity of the show, and I think the integrity of the show is off, even though the characters might be on point. Wow, the feeling question is usually so much more cut and dry. This is a complex episode. But play count. How many times do you think you've watched this? I think I've watched it maybe 5 or 6 times. I know this is one I hate and have actively avoided throughout the years. How about you, man?
Well, I caught myself quoting that part in the middle, but I think it's the same. I think 2 or 3 times tops.
Not very often.
Yeah, I think I'm on about 3 on a guess, including this time.
Yeah. Do you have any memories of how this episode influenced your life? Or quotes part of your life?
It made me write more angry letters, especially to the weather girl.
Take that bra off.
I'll put it on. I don't know what I want anymore.
Just keep one side on, one side off.
That's confusing. You know what? Just...
Just cover which half of the TV.
I wonder if that's a thing. People having a lopsided fetish.
Oh, I get it. It's probably a thing now.
Yeah,
So
Rule 43. I've said it.
you've just created it. Well done.
I think it's 34.
All right, wackiness. This is balls wacky. So many balls.
It could be wackier. There's wackier out there.
I don't know. I think the wackiness was not that funny, so you kind of, forget about it.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
George Lucas
riding out on a tauntaun.
Yeah.
No, I wrote that down as well.
And even the
Them
tossing
throwing
him
him,
around.
yep.
And,
Playing Randall Curtis in the middle. And the heart. I think we can all agree that no one felt the bumps.
Yeah,
No.
it was having open heart surgery, and they just pulled it out and played hacky sack.
No, see, that's
You know what? Actually, it started out really sweet watching the couple
absolutely.
drinking wine together and having this lovely
Yeah,
relationship.
like I said, we don't really ever see Homer Marge plots that aren't romantically linked. You very rarely see them just hanging out having fun. So this was really rare, and the fact that it then bombed after that.
I think that's what made the bomb worse, because they actually were. You were kind of going I get it. They're actually enjoying each other's company. Having fun and hugging around the breakfast table. The kids were so amazed that they were getting along, but obviously quite happy with it. Not annoyed by it, really. And
They're used to seeing drunks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes or no, would you watch this episode again?
Look, I probably would if it was on. I wouldn't change. I wouldn't turn it off.
I feel like I would, actually.
You'd watch it again?
No, as in I would turn it off.
Oh, you would turn it
I'd be
off.
like, oh, this one.
Maybe
but-
right before the end.
Yeah.
And then
I might watch the drunk
apologized.
montage and then cut it after that.
I don't like the beginning. I don't like the end. But the middle bit's cute.
middle has
I'd
its
watch it for a
charms.
little. Ad break to ad break in the second.
Yeah.
Order.
I don't want to watch this episode again. I'm actively avoiding it. Well, that means we have to rank this thing. I'm going to kick it off because I know I'm calling it a failure. For all the bits that I laughed, I just think it's just way too fucked up in an episode to even participant recommend. Who knows where they're going with this?
I would largely agree. Yeah, for a while I was a participant failure, but structurally, it goes for something that it doesn't land, and doesn't even land a parody of that. That if it was, something where that was the point or that was the joke, that would work. But it feels like we're supposed to feel a good fuzzy revelation on this.
Resolution.
You want a resolution? I got a revelation. We hold these truths to be self-evident. Anyway.
And we're back.
Sorry to cut you off there.
No, please. I was struggling with words. Where was I, Hannah?
It sucks.
No, I know that. What was I saying?
It was acting like it had a fuzzy resolution when
Thank
it actually didn't.
It was acting like it had a fuzzy resolution. Instead, it was like a pointy resolution that hurt
Yeah.
and sucked.
Mm.
So,
All right,
yeah.
Claire.
Look, I'm pretty much the only one here that would watch it again, so it's a low participation. It's not a good episode, but I now know there is much worse out there.
There is.
So, yeah.
This is your first
All right.
Mercy episode where you're like, you didn't do too bad. Run along.
Claire wants to send it to Participant Pizza. I'm okay with that. How about you, Shag?
I started off wanting to say participation, but the more we talk about it, the further down it goes. The first act was,
Doesn't have that
to me,
far to
was
fall.
terrible. The last act was terrible. I really like the car crash gag. I think the liquor up to the ceiling was done so well and so smoothly. It was a really well done bit.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean it was a well done episode, and no one deserves to put up with this again. It was a failure.
Nodding.
Cool. All right. 3 failures and a part. All right. So we are going to go to a classic episode now.
Yay!
And we are going to see Marge become the church's listen lady. And also, something funny happens with Homer. But you'll have to find out what that is after this break. After this cartoon. And we're back. And we just watched Season 8, Episode 22 in Marge We Trust. AKA, this is the one where Marge takes over for Reverend Lovejoy as being like the counselor to a bunch of the church patrons.
Listen lady.
She becomes the listen lady, yeah. And in the B story, Homer finds out that his image was accidentally the logo for a Japanese dishwasher company. Guys...
Oh, I love the
Let's
tension.
get ready to rumble!
He's establishing an air of tension, man.
Guys, what did you think?
Beautiful.
I thought it was smashing.
Oh, what a great one. Just a
Man,
barrel
it was
of laughs.
lovely. The every single line was another joke, you know. Just as I'm laughing at something, I have to stop laughing so I can hear the next line, which is another joke. And they're all just so well written and so. You look like you're about to cut me off.
Yeah, well, I'm not cutting you off. I'm adding to that because we all, thanks to Elliot's, superior sound system as opposed to
You're
childhood
welcome.
TVs, picked up on a joke that none of us had properly heard before.
Yeah. Where,
Beach, take it away.
When Reverend Lovejoy goes, I seem to have missed my place. Gonna start from the beginning. Then in the moment that could go, for the love of crumb cake. I don't know how I've seen this episode so many times, and I've always noticed, for the love of, but I never picked up crumb cake.
Crumb
And
cake.
it's such the perfect non-swear to say.
Yeah.
Especially for Mo.
We all heard it so clearly, and we all just burst into laughter.
Oh,
thinking,
man.
That's
Comedy
great.
case, man. It's a proven theory.
Yeah.
So good.
But I think this is it's a great example that this is an episode that just keeps on giving after however
So
many
many
years, like
years.
15 years.
Still had more
Yep.
for us.
And as we know, I love an episode that starts out with a good itchy and scratchy, and this is a great one.
I've learned that I really like any episode where they start off watching TV. It just feels more organic than anything else. I don't know why. It's weird.
Night Boat. Remember Night Boat?
See, our TV's next to a mirror. It looks like we have two.
Two TVs.
Wow, 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't this episode, but this one was good. It was a itchy and scratchy gag where,
Ear trauma unit.
Yeah.
the ear trauma unit and
Catches a plane over to the French nuclear test, which is topical because I believe the French were testing nukes at the time. So
really season 8. So this is about 96, 97,
yeah,
98.
there was a lot of controversy around that. This is about the time the original Greenpeace Rainbow Warrior was bombed by the French.
Oh.
Yeah,
Not nuclear bombed.
Oh.
yeah. Look it up though. Controversy.
I should. But yeah, classic overextending the stethoscope to go, miles and miles and miles away to a nucler test site.
While Scratchy just lies there and takes it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
Is that a classic bit?
Remember the one where
It
he
is by now.
takes the tongue and takes it to the
Yeah.
moon.
Well, no, that.
Yeah.
Think of your Wile E. Coyote's where he's in the slingshot and he keeps backing up and backing up
Yeah.
and backing up and
Oh,
backing up.
for real.
Yeah, I liked it.
And
Good
so
for
did Bart and
you.
Lisa, who were trying to stay quiet, but sadly woke up Marge.
Yeah,
Man,
he was
hadn't we all been there when we were kids?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shh.
Watching early morning cartoons. Trying not to wake the parents.
Yeah, that's where I learned stealth for the first time. But yeah, so you got, Marge wakes up and goes, oh, we're late for church. Good thing I dressed last night. And Homer's got the great line I think we've all heard of, I'd love to go with you, honey, but I've got a lot of work to do around the bed.
Oh, so been there every morning.
I'm sorry, this is just where the joke rapid fire starts, because you go, Homer, the Lord only asked for 1 hour. And he goes, well, he should have made the week an hour longer. Stupid God.
Yeah. Oh, and then when he's in church, this is one of my favorite Simpsons jokes, where Homer falls asleep in church and then like falls forward, bangs his head on the pews and goes, oh, damn it. It's just like, what don't you say in church? That.
Yeah, and Lovejoy's just like, I guess I've lost my place. I might as well go right back to the beginning.
Yeah. You either say, damn it, or fucking cock-slapping motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either of these are unacceptable.
But he says that all the time anyway. It wouldn't have the same shock value.
That's right.
Oh, wait. Eagle scream.
Yeah, where everyone's falling asleep and he has the choice of how to wake them up.
Oh, yeah.
But I do like that it comes from they go home and the kids and Homer are all like, it's the longest possible time till more church. Who wants to go to the dump?
Yeah.
Time to throw out that old Christmas tree. And there's a present for Grandpa under there that's still there.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
It's very quick. But yeah, I like that you have Marge going, well, I'm going to set an example and I'm going to go volunteer and, do more for the church and do this thing I believe in.
Oh,
yeah.
I like that Lovejoy is like, she's like, I feel like the church isn't doing too much to really help anyone.
It's just a
and she's like,
Marge.
and Lovejoy's like, well, yeah, I don't see you doing anything about it. Like it's her fault to reach out on behalf of the church.
But I guess I will volunteer. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Marge, church. Pff, what are you gonna do about it?
She says a word here though, like sermons about pedicitude. What is that word?
Oh well, if you don't know, I'm not gonna tell you.
Fuck you hipster.
It's constancy and something else. I meant to write it down.
Constancy and pedicitude.
Well, why don't we try some Googling on the Simpsons Index?
Welcome to Googling on the Simpsons Index. Where
pedicitude, a person is perceived as engaging in sexual activity with many people. Verb, usually reflectively. To perform a sexual activity for money. To make another person or organization prostitute themselves.
Wow, it wasn't just that episode where Homer increases his vocabulary that Simpsons increase our vocabulary.
It is, a lot of it directly references Simpsons, so I don't know how
real that is.
Okay, what I'm reading that from is a website called ninjawords.com, and everything else then after that is Frinkiac, Simpsons Crazy, Ninja Words.
Is it possible this is a
play
fake word made up for The Simpsons, and someone has backsplained, like, what's the word? Reverse engineered.
Retroactively.
Thank you.
I like
reverse engineered works too.
I like, looks, we were all.
I don't know. Backsplain to me is like when someone's turned their back on you and they're condescendingly explaining something to you,
like
but they can't look at you.
I like that we all separately like different words that you said. So well done. You appealed to all audiences.
Way to hit all the key demos. Man, woman, and cyborg.
Bleep, bloop.
So yeah, Marge does volunteer, and
but we have to go to Reverend Lovejoy explaining why he lost his
from the constant calls from Ned Flanders, ending in the great sentence. You can't let a few bad experiences sour you. Oh, sure I can.
Luckily, it was the 80s, and nobody noticed. But it goes on to Marge's, like, the first call she takes is fantastic. It's like, I've got so many problems from Mo, right?
Yep.
So many problems. I don't even know where to begin. All right, well, start from the top. Already pretty fucking useless at, like,
The most pressing issue that Mo had was he's lost the will to live.
Oh, no, Mo, you've got plenty to live for. Well, that's not what Reverend Lovejoy's been telling me. Like, somebody, like, clearly he keeps calling up being like, I feel like I want to die. And they're like, yeah, you should.
Lovejoy's like, well, when you think about it, that's probably the end for everybody. May as well hurry it up.
All right, so going into Act 2, actually, let's just peel off all the Mr. Sparkle bit at the moment. It starts out at the dump. They're rummaging through the dump.
Barbie doll.
The Barbie doll with the rat. Great bit of animation there.
This is someone threw out a perfectly good half of a basketball.
Rat in that too, because...
The rat as well, because, like... once again, Lisa is so unlucky with animals.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
discovering
yeah.
this.
And Homer gets pounced on by a raccoon and
And
rolls
rolls
around
around.
in the ground again.
Really squelchy noises as they reach into the
Oh,
sewage
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. Great bit of sound effects work there. And by great, it mean it put me off more sushi. Oh, and on the sushi index, we ate some platters from Sushi Season in Newtown. Guys, what'd you think?
It was good.
Yeah, really yum.
I would eat there again.
Indeed.
That's high praise.
Yeah, look, Sushi Season, it's actually hard to find on Google. They don't have a website. They don't have a menu log or any of that shit. You got to go up to their fucking brick and mortar establishment and say, hey,
Give me some sushi.
yep,
That's old school sushi. That's the way they did it back in the day.
yep.
Yeah,
but-
you had to bring a fish right to the sushi shop and say, I want this in rice, please.
All right, but like,
It was in Japanese.
do they yell "Irashaimase"?
Irashaimase!
Perfect. Then you know it's like genuine.
So,
Legit.
Good stuff.
which actually circles back around to the Mr. Sparkle episode. Oh my god, unintended Japanese
Boom,
connections.
amazing.
Ooh.
So, yeah, we're done with the dump part of it, I
Are we up
guess.
to Akira? Akira was so good.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah, they take the
hey,
box to Akira.
hey,
I don't know. That wasn't George Takei, actually.
No, I didn't assume it was.
I checked the credits.
Mm-hmm.
You're very lucky dishes, Mr. Simpson.
He boasts that he will banish them to the land of wind and ghosts.
This soap comes from the sacred forests of Hokkaido, renowned for its soap factories.
Okay, I'm guessing that's not what Hokkaido is known
Of
for.
course not. But, you know, coming from the sacred forest is what all soap boasts to come from some magical natural place. Renowned for its soap factories. Is
Yeah.
perfect turnaround. The same sentence.
But I do like the continuity of having Akira like
Yeah.
show up again. It just
Yeah.
it made sense. you
He's
know?
not always voiced by George Takei, but, you know, it is good to
When
see
you
him
can
every
get him.
now and
He's
then.
a busy man.
Oh, very
He's got
busy.
to
He's
update
un-
that Facebook page of
He's
his.
uncle to the entire internet. That's gonna be tough. He's all like, "Hey, did you see this funny post?" You're like, "Yes, you're
Yes,
funny."
Uncle George. Oh, I love George Takei. Anyway, yeah, the great bit with the library and the
Yeah.
phone book and
Yeah, and the long dial.
That's perfect as well. How polite Homer is. Like, may I have the phone book for
How did
Hokkaido?
you pay? Here we
May
go.
I use your phone?
Is it a local call?
Yes. And the little spectacles come out and everything. It's just wonderful.
Yep.
And it's one of those times where they do drag out the joke. But
this time it works,
so
yeah.
well.
It's that one where you laugh and then it is unfunny and then it's funny again.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Bart's Dial in the Australia
Yeah,
episode. Sorry, Shag, you got something on your mind.
Homer has this way of lying in a way that he doesn't expect it to work. Like when he's like, "Okay, Mr. Burns, what's your first name?" And he goes, "I don't know."
Or when there's Mr. Plow and he's like, "Which president's on the top?" "All of them. They are having a party."
Yeah, he has this. It's like he expects to be caught out, and at the same time, like he believes it as well.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
this is one of those times as well when he's like, "Is it a local call?" Yes.
I think it's more, it's like the brain slowly going, I actually didn't think of any follow-up questions.
Yeah, I didn't
to
think this far ahead.
I have to lie now because if I tell the truth, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hear the whole thought process in
the
that
gears
one.
turning.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the sound of the machine running.
It's a
yeah.
real Homer in a nutshell
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of thing.
Yeah, and so he contacts the Japanese factory, and there's that guy. What's his shirt say? I think you wrote it down.
Champion of winning, superb.
Nice.
Oh, I've got
his
to get
job
that on a
title?
shirt.
I want that to be my job title. So then there's the there's the factory worker that happens to speak English. His English is very bad. There's this sort of vaguely racist, but not particularly offensive
Yeah, it's
sort
just-
of
it's
thing.
just
It's just
broken
like, yep,
English.
dude doesn't
It's,
speak
you know,
English well.
He's their like guy who talks to the English-speaking people, and
Yeah.
he has just enough to get to make the sale. Essentially,
It's not
got
really
lots of
offensive
questions,
to the
Mr.
Japanese
Sparkle.
guy.
Yeah.
While we're in this spot, Homer is really bad at asking them what he's trying to ask them. Why am I Mr. Sparkle?
But I am Mr. Sparkle.
The hell is he expecting as an answer to that? That's the worst way to ask that question ever.
And then again, like, what is he calling them for? Like, he needs to
He's lost in the confusion of
He's
like.
just-
That's
Yeah.
actually a funny thing where that's like the not understanding in a common language where Homer's too stupid to speak English even though it's his native language and like the other person only knows enough surface English to
Yeah.
speak like that's
And it would
pretty
be no funny. Who's like, hello, your mascot appears to look very similar to me. I was wondering if there was a particular reason for that.
Yeah.
That's a laugh a minute right there.
Yeah, we can buy Homer
Glad
being
you're not a writer.
No, I like that. I like the idea that he's just so spun out by it that he can barely string a sentence together. Like when
Yeah.
he first sees it, he's like,
That's it.
"That's
He-
like."
He's genuinely
Yeah.
distressed by it. He's actually like, and that's what I like about this. It's not just a casual thing for him. He's not just like, oh my God, this looks like me. And it doesn't make him happy. It doesn't make him feel good.
It's
He's
just
like
confused.
genuinely like concerned and
His
freaked
world is
out.
And we've
has
got
an
that-
existential crisis
Yeah,
going on
Yeah.
there
and
for
we've got
sure.
that fun meta joke where there's like, but you know, if there's a photo of me, how do we know they're not watching us right now? It's like, no, Marge goes, oh, no one is watching us right now.
They're all like looking around.
Put that away at the dinner table. He got that at the dump. And so, yeah, they send him the answer question, Mr. Sparkle 100% package.
Yep.
Yep.
And, yeah, classic too much packaging gag. What'd you call it?
Oh, it's the garden hose gag or the
clown
shotgun
car or
gag.
the shotgun or the-
the
yeah.
clown car gag.
Which is pouring out peanuts for way too long until he looks down and then boom, the VHS hits me in the face.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's very smooth. It's a quick gag. It's just the
It's
classic
beautiful, yeah.
physical humor from The Simpsons that isn't,
Present
dragged
anymore.
out. Like,
Yeah.
In another
Perfect.
show, even in a decent show like Futurama or something, that could have gone for like a good 30 seconds of wacky flailing about the box while
Yeah.
more and more bits come out.
And the ad. So,
The ad, which is just such great English.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
it's a Japanese ad, and they've got English subtitles, and the English subtitles are ridiculous and barely make sense.
But they do match up with the Japanese.
I just needed to check with you, Claire. Yeah, you can speak Japanese somewhat.
Somewhat.
Hi.
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 I can speak
Oh, I
English.
mean,
and I can say hi too.
Yeah, look, from what I can tell, it's relatively accurate. Like,
Yeah.
the subtitles are, reflecting what is being said, which
Yeah.
is actually worse in a way.
But I just,
Why are you standing around? Could you do any less?
I just
Join
super,
with
yeah,
us or die.
I super love Mr. Sparkle's like bravado during the whole thing. He says, I am disrespectful to dirt.
Wash. Ooh, yeah.
Any
perfect.
plans for the summer?
Yeah, the crazy transition, the two-headed cow and the...
I thought it was
yeah.
just two cows next to
No,
each
it
other.
was a two-headed
No, it was a
cow.
two-headed
Wow.
cow.
My
And
worldview is rocked.
You even expect, like, you're trying to make sense of this surreal ad. And I'm like, okay, he's going to split the cow in two or something. No, it
And it'll be
shatters.
two cows.
Like, why?
It is a perfect bit of, like, even, like, a Westerner's view of what the fuck Japan sort of
Yeah.
stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's relatively accurate. It's a bizarre translation, but at the same time, it's a bizarre ad. So
Yeah. And it's utterly hilarious.
Yeah.
And then we get the bit at the end where Mr. Sparkle, conglomeration of, I can't remember the things.
Matsumoto-
Matsumoto
Fishworks
Fishworks.
and electricity.
Electricity. And makes fish bulb.
Yep,
And-
there's your answer, Fishbulb.
And that's what I like. When you look at the last episode, I always like to compare what we've been watching. And it was a very sudden end to this, but they actually went with that. Like, they were like, there's your answer, Fishbowl.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it was
this-
great while it lasted. Let's
Yeah.
go home. We are home. That was
That was
fast. Like, it's so
They really
perfect.
revel in that anticlimax of
Yeah.
it, you know.
And I love that. It's like, not everything has a meaning. Sometimes random shit happens.
But there is that tiny, quick touch on it later when they're at the zoo.
Yeah.
And Mr. Sparkle, konnichiwa. Like, perfect.
It's perfect callback to the previous part of the episode, and in that way, it is the perfect B story where it's filling out, where there wasn't enough material to mine from the A story, which I thought they mined pretty well.
They did a lot, but it didn't. It gave them enough breathing room to not overstay A's welcome, I suppose.
Yeah, and a bit of levity as well, because the A story was hitting on some pretty hard themes there. So we'll come back to the A story now. I think we're all done with Mr. Sparkle now.
Fish bulb.
There's your answer, Fishpop. I still love that. It's
Yeah.
such a great conclusion to come
Yeah,
to. Like,
there are a lot of these. I think we were all pre-quoting.
Yeah.
As they came
Oh.
up.
And they're very, very useful in everyday
Yeah.
life.
I'm
When
pretty
she
sure I've
sits
said
on
to-
when she sits on the keyboard, we all started laughing before
Yeah.
the keyboard was saying.
And I also super like, I've just got written down Game Boy gone. It's like, you just have to accept it. Your Game Boy is gone. It's at the bottom of the ocean. Yar. Yar.
Yep. So just jumping back a little bit. So Marge is like, first thing is with Lenny, and this is a rare moment where I like more than one line, Lenny.
Ooh, come on.
Yep, Lenny has a few lines in this, and it's great. I'm gonna stuff Carl until he doesn't know what's what.
Yeah, that's
And it's
that's
great
a line and a
advice.
half.
You got bad news, make a big dinner.
Oh, yeah. No, but it works. You've pulled that one on me as well. It's like, so the reason we bought you all this Thai food, we need you to move out. And it worked.
Yep.
And I do love, like, you know, she's become so popular already. Reverend Lovejoy is feeling the pinch, but she's got this line outside, and right at the back you've got Principal Skinner and his mother again, and it's another, like, it's one of those moments that I have quoted.
I'm not
so
principal
much.
of the line, mother.
And you never will be. And they've already
Fantastic.
called up earlier with a problem. Like, he's already called up talking about how she's covered half the TV
Oh,
with cardboard.
When a man without a face,
That
I didn't even
monster.
know he had a problem.
Yeah, that was the where Reverend Lovejoy was just showing his despondence and just like,
Covered half the TV with cardboard. What kind of sick monster is she?
I have always wondered, is that vertical half or horizontal half?
I think it would be horizontal.
But how is that her half the TV? Is he
it'd
always
have
sitting
to
on the
be
floor?
vertical because you're doing a room split. They're clearly doing like splitting the room
But
in half.
in Claire's point,
no,
if it's
so
man without
you're right.
without a face, it would have to be horizontal so you can't see his face.
oh.
But who would give away the top half of the TV?
A madman, or if you're playing split screen GoldenEye, then that
Also,
makes sense.
I do like that even though she's covered half the TV, a half of the TV with cardboard, they're still renting movies. Like, we rented. Like, they're still watching them. And she's
I didn't
not
think of
I
that.
hope
like,
she's only looking at the cardboard.
keep your eyes to yourself.
So yeah, Marge has the big line and she's like, one at a time, oh my god, I'm so popular now. And
Yep,
like,
yep.
who's got the worst problem?
I have a recurring dream in which I'm falling.
And
Yes!
everyone's like, fuck it, I'm
Whoa.
no.
Yeah.
Hell, just get in there, man.
Tim, hold my calls.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Tim, hold my calls.
And that's it. Like, she's also, it's that little
She's
needle.
usurped his power.
That's it. She's usurped. She's just like, she's just dug in there. She's not even calling Reverend Lovejoy anymore. Like, he's
Tim.
He's her
Tim.
assistant. Like, yeah.
Taking
Tim
the power.
hold my calls, yeah. And he has the glass stained hallucinations. I love that so much. They tried introducing Christianity to Mongolia.
It
It didn't take. It was worth a try. That's like, you're just lucky God isn't here.
Yes. that is one of those jokes that I didn't really fully get when I was younger, and definitely got like
Yeah.
growing up.
And another callback to his trains where he's sadly playing with the trains. Helen
man.
Lovejoy's calling Marge like, what do I do?
And can I just say, even though Helen Lovejoy is a complete bitch, she clearly cares and worries about him to
Oh,
the point
yeah.
where she actually does reach out. So
Reach out
The
essentially
very
to his
last
rival,
thing
so-
she
Yeah.
says when Marge is just like, maybe just give it some time and it'll all go away. Helen's just like, okay. It was
Yeah.
the saddest thing I've ever heard her say.
Saddest okay ever.
Yeah.
So we go to the Leftorium. And Flanders has got some
he's got a fake
Hooligans.
problem, essentially, because
another Flanders fake problem.
another
Yeah.
Flanders fake problem. But instead of just like listening to him and letting him talk, which is what he's used
What
to, she
Reverend
actually
Lovejoy
gives him advice, assuming that's like a real issue. So he's like, oh, these kids, you know, they're standing around outside. They're gonna start slacking any minute, you know. And
Oh,
when-
you just
The
tell those
kids are
boys
like,
to
hey
vamoose.
guys, let's get out of here. And then he goes up and says, you guys
They
should
better
vamoose.
Vamoose.
Isn't that great though?
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
Like that, there is that sort of inset paranoia about what kids might do at any moment. And
Yeah. Again, to quote 30 Rockets, gasp, youths.
yeah.
Yeah. And
I've
as
done
soon
now,
as
so.
he says, do you mind sort of vamoosing? Then like the kids are just like, oh no, he didn't.
Drops the soda cup. It's
Drops
on
the
Yeah.
soda cup.
And then I love that the next call is made from the top of a chair
Up
while
to-
they're circling him with mini
I
bikes.
think it's an
Yeah.
upturned left-handed umbrella bucket.
Of course it is.
They're like sharks circling the prey.
Yeah.
They're on their mini bikes.
And yeah, they cut the cord, and she goes and cuts back to Marge. Oh well. And then the little
Yeah.
bit of the water jug. I love that. Just Like that, the loud silence sort of thing.
That's a fantastic
But I
metaphor.
even like that she said, "Oh, all right, put me on with the lead boy." Like she's
Yeah.
she's
Become
so,
the authority.
She's
She
so
is so-
removed from things, though.
Too far confident with her own abilities.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
little bit of hubris there, Marge.
Yep.
I bet it'll be your undoing.
I bet it will.
But going on to the next scene, you made a really good point,
Yeah.
Dan.
Where
it's
Maud,
the next
Maud
morning.
shows up
Maud
on.
shows up. Yeah. And she introduces the topic in like the most roundabout and guilt-inducing way.
Did your husband come home last night? Of course he did. Oh well, that's funny because mine didn't, bitch.
Oh, okay.
It's like, okay.
So,
And you pointed it
husbands,
out.
huh?
And I thought, yeah, that was weird. And then in the very next scene, she's at her Listen Lady post, and I'm like, wait, what is she doing back here? And it's like, no, she's now consulting Reverend Lovejoy in this moment because she doesn't know where to turn.
Just want to say quickly, Maud Flanders. Have you ever heard of the police? Like, think your husband goes missing. The first person you turn to is the Listen Lady of the local church.
Especially because she
Solid
doesn't
point.
even know that
Yeah.
Ned
Fla-
called Marge at all. Like, it's not like she was there.
I guess it's because Marge had become the counselor for the
Yeah.
town
Yeah.
that you
It's one of
kind
those
buy
things
that.
where, from television logic, it totally works perfectly. If you stop and
Yeah.
think of it in human logic, it doesn't. But you don't care because you're following the story on
No,
the TV.
in the midst of the episode,
If
it's
someone
so...
goes missing overnight,
You you ask the person whose the story is about.
who's the story's about?
that family who
Ask
the
the
cameras are
protagonist.
always pointed at each and every
Yeah.
week. Every night.
Their names
it's
are in the
Sunday.
goddamn clouds. I mean, come on.
And he calls them,
Was it Reverend Lovejoy or Marge or I can't remember now.
He calls the church.
Goes to church, yeah. They're gassing up their mini bikes, and I like how he can't pitch his head up high enough to see what the name of the station is, but he can tell what the gas price is.
yeah. But I like how they work out because of it's 0.8 of a cent that it's got to be Donnie's
Gotta be
discount.
Donnie's.
Who's cheaper than that? No one. Donnie's discount gas. It's in the name.
Yeah.
I like the way that they've stopped to refuel.
Because they've been chasing him that long.
Stay there. We're refueling. Don't escape.
We'll chase you afterwards.
Yeah.
And then that leads into one of my favorite scenes, even though it's not one that sticks with me, but every time I see it, I'm like, I love this, where the family rocks up and they're like, did you see a man being chased by some young boys?
I see a lot of things.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So much for cagey roundabout answers.
Exactly.
So yeah, Flanders escapes the bullies by hiding in the baboon cage. And,
Baboon County, USA.
Yeah,
Yep.
Baboon
Yep.
County, USA.
And
Yep,
yeah,
you're
just
right.
some quick sign gags when the Simpsons run in. You've got habitats for huge manatees
Ah,
Yep.
it's excellent.
at Aardvark Park.
But yeah, I love the action sequence of Flanders, getting cornered by the baboons, and then Lovejoy coming around, bringing in the trains again, reaffirming his
Yeah.
character,
Yeah.
driving the trains through Baboon County, USA, and rescuing Flanders.
Come on,
and then
mate.
having a fucking monkey fight on the train.
Oh my
does
God.
a fucking mad flip
What a
and
beast.
kicks a monkey in the face.
Oh man, and then the train rolls back into Baboon County at just the perfect time.
But let's backpedal for a second to the zookeeper. Like, oh my God, he's in the baboon enclosure. Well, I mean, we could get him out, but if they don't kill the intruder, it's really bad for society.
Every time that train goes past, the baboons have more than enough access to
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
yeah, why doesn't I mean surely that train is there for like the tourists, not the baboons. It's not a train for the baboons to ride on.
Or is it?
Ooh.
Well, we'll never know.
We'll never
Well,
know.
maybe they're
But
just
no,
like
you have a
extra
point.
riled up, because
But I'd make the
Yeah.
same point we made before. If you're already invested in having fun, you're not going to care about the logic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's
yeah.
like what I was going to say. It's almost the perfection of this episode where there are these little flaws that come up. How Marge delivers the thing and how the train works in Baboon County that you do
And
ignore
it's been
because...
like 15 years since I've seen this, and only now I'm really picking it apart.
Yeah.
But also the
Exactly.
thing is, it is the wackiness of The Simpsons. It's okay that it's wacky because the joke is funny. The joke
Yeah.
makes sense. You want the train there because it ties into Reverend Lovejoy being Reverend Lovejoy while saving. Like even his entrust your hand to mine, Ned. Like it's
Oh.
very like religious,
Yeah.
Yeah.
significance.
But yeah, their master is the joke, and if the joke works, the rest of it doesn't matter.
And then Reverend's he's got this inspired speech, and he's like, "Oh my God, guys!" And so there I was, knee deep in baboon
Yeah.
guts,
Apes to
blood
the left of
dripping
me.
down my.
Apes to the right.
Yeah,
And
Baboon.
that's when I got mad.
Now this is church.
No, that's
Yeah.
religion.
It is time for the questionnaire. So storyline wise, it was an A and a B. I'd say the Mr. Sparkle was the B and the
Yep.
Listen Lady was the A. So did it feel like an episode of The
God,
Simpsons?
yes.
Oh,
yeah.
100%.
Everyone's on point. No debate. Play count. Let's go around the table. How many times do you think you've watched this? Probably 100.
98.6.
Oh God, I actually would say more than 100. Yeah, like this was I've yeah, I know. Maybe I beat Elliot this time because I've seen this episode so often.
Was this
It's one of
a
my
VHS
favorites.
tape one or maybe?
Possibly.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I've seen it a hell of a lot of times.
How about you, man?
A hell of a lot of times +1.
Ooh.
Oh.
Was that the sound of a gauntlet? No, you were just slapping your boyfriend.
Do you have any memories of how this episode influenced your life?
Converted me to baboon Christianity.
That explains the shirt and the little cross with the baboon face on it.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. That's actually quite creepy. FYI, I actually really dislike baboons. Like, I love animals, but I find them so freaking creepy. And maybe
Good
this
thing I
episode is
kept
Are they
why.
the ones with the prolapsed arseholes?
Yeah, they got the big booty
Yeah.
and the manes and the
Babooty.
freaking teeth and the.
And the
Asante
bloodlust.
san, a Scotch banana.
Yeah, I know. How can some of them be so charming and the rest of them be so awful?
Any quotable moments that influence your life throughout this
Oh,
episode?
man.
I feel like this is actually one that I feel like it's more like I enjoy watching with people more than I quote
A
it
lot
with
of the
people.
quotes aren't useful. Like all the fishbowl stuff is in my head, just glued there
But
permanently.
how often does that come up for you? to
Yeah,
be able
when
to
are you
say,
going to
yeah.
use that in a bit?
Yeah, I agree. It's like, it's one where I know all the lines so well, but I don't know if I've ever said any of them other than, well, I got a lot of work to do around the bed.
Well, I like my humor to be putting other people down, so I do like, and you never will be. And,
Actually, I'm pretty
there's
sure
your
I've
answer,
said,
fishbowl, like, those things are great because
Yeah.
it's like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure I've said, I'm not principal of the line.
yeah, exactly. It's so good.
Shut up! I'm asking her.
Yeah, the cat one, perfect. I
Yeah.
definitely
top of the
quote
list,
that
I've
to my
lost
cat.
the will to live.
Oh yeah. It was the 70s, and people were ready to feel bad about themselves.
I've weirdly found myself quoting, they give you 5 Qs and only 2
Two
Us.
What a
What a
world.
world.
It's
Like-
crazy. That's another thing. Marge.
Any jokes you only noticed on this or more recent viewings? Like, what flew over your head as a kid?
Now, for the love of crumb cake.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
sums it up, really.
Yeah, for the love of crumb cake.
I love that. So that is definitely going to become a quotable
Yeah.
from now on.
Yeah. Wackiness.
Baboons. That's
It
about-
ramped up to it very organically, didn't
A
it?
minister did fight 3 baboons.
Yeah.
He would have been torn to shreds in real
Would
life.
he?
Well, like I
he's
said,
pretty
ramped
tough.
up to it very organically. It was wacky, but, this was Tim Lovejoy's moment of redemption here, wasn't it?
Yeah, also, I feel like you're not allowed to comment on that unless you're either a baboon expert or you fought baboons yourself. Because otherwise, you're not speaking from experience.
Or you've got the power of God behind you.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to discuss my baboon fighting past on air.
And I
Well,
know
you
that.
shouldn't because you've got a baboon Christian. Like, why am I sitting in between you two? You can't talk about wackiness without mentioning that freaking ad. Like,
Oh yeah.
that ad.
two-headed cow.
Amazing.
Yeah,
the
well,
the bikini
But it
babes
made
turning into
sense.
sumo
yeah,
wrestlers.
it's wacky, but it's an ad in a TV show, so it's
yeah,
allowed
it's supposed
to
to be wacky.
It's, not
It's
anything
making
the
fun of how
character's doing.
wacky Japanese ads are.
Yeah.
On the other hand, the rat's head pointing out at the Barbie doll. My first thought was, there's no way for the rat to have gotten in there, and turned around and pointed out.
Rats are flexible.
Where they are.
What did you think of the heart of this episode? I love the heart.
Yeah, Marge wants to do something good. It kind of backfires for reasons that are out of her control. Reverend Lovejoy gets renewed in his willingness to lead the church, and it's all beautiful and wonderful. And also Mr. Sparkle.
The Lenny and Carl moment as well. You just know that, they're going to come through that all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, they're going to be okay.
They're
It's
gonna be
going to be
okay.
rough for a little bit, but you know what? I think they're going to make it.
Yes or no, would you watch this episode again?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yes.
So put it in a playlist. Where does it lie? Religious episodes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
religious episodes.
I think Gravity Rush just downloaded.
Flanders episodes.
More Lovejoy.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, sort of. Flanders is almost a catalyst to these stories.
It's
like
incidental, isn't he? when you
he's
think
the
about it?
reason why Tim Lovejoy lost his love, and he's the reason why he got
He found it
invigorated again via Marge.
Flanders.
It's like a Lovejoy triangle.
Marge thinking she knows what's
I like
best. Marge doing the best for the town.
Yep. Marge morals.
Yeah, Marge morals.
Moralistic Marge. Like Marge versus the monorail. That would pair nicely with this episode.
Yeah.
So would
Culture
a
Shock
chilled
episodes.
Simpsons in Japan.
Simpsons in Japan.
Yeah.
Simpsons in...
There's been a few of those now.
Yeah, it's where they go to the Tokyo.
Yeah.
The Tokyo.
Yep.
The Tokyo.
Well, there's only one.
Let's rank this thing. Oh wow, I went unusual. Last time I went first, so I'm going to make someone else go first. You.
I mean, you still know where you're pointing when you do that.
Podcast listeners, I pointed at Danny.
But with your eyes closed to,
Yeah.
you know.
That's my point.
To
You
make
know,
it
it's not like you don't know where you're pointing.
I forget things so quickly,
Like
you
you
know.
sort of waved your hands above your head and ended up pointing at him.
Yeah,
Anyway.
to dizzy his fingers so they wouldn't know where they were pointing.
All right, come
Yeah,
on,
because
go.
my hands don't have brains, you genius.
Duh, duh, duh. Yeah. All right. God. I hate you all so much. All right.
Love you too, buddy. Where are you
I'm
leaning,
giving
Danny?
this one a gold.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's fine. Go for it.
Yeah, I think this is a really, really good episode, and it's got jokes just one after another. I'm really impressed with the pacing of it. I don't think there's any real down moments to it, but to me, most of the characters are background characters. Bart and Lisa are things that are almost not there at all. It's focuses on Lovejoy and Flanders and Marge, who 9 times out of 10 aren't the funniest members of the cast. And I think there are episodes that are a lot more special to me personally anyway.
Sure.
What about you, Claire?
Oh, jeez. I do really like this episode. But yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it's not quite like CZ material, but it's very shiny gold. Or slightly scratched up CZ. I don't know. I actually can't decide. Can I come back?
You can defer.
Reconsideration round. So, Beach, do you know where you're leaning?
Well, it gives me great pleasure to say you're both wrong. This is clear. No, I'm just being a dick there. No, to me this is cubic. It was one of those ones where I don't want to give it a cubic because it does maybe lack a little bit something in the story, but then when I'm watching it, I'm having far too much fun to care. Yes, this is one where we focus a lot on the B characters, but this is where the point where they became characters. Before, Reverend Lovejoy was just background. Even like Mrs. Lovejoy and Maud were just there. But here they feel like they get a bit more flesh. They get something else to them. They get some more dynamics that going forward gives them much more. So it's a well-paced, hilarious episode. There's so many well-paced, well-timed, rapid-fire jokes. Maybe a touch more like... Maybe not so much morality, but a touch more plot maybe would have easily pushed into cubic. But for me, I think this is sitting at a cubic zirconia. I was surprised. I didn't think it was going in, but having watched it, I'm like, I can't fault this one. It's great fun. We all pre-quoted it instantly.
With enough
And,
laughter to lubricate it, it slid right in there.
Yeah, it is like most things we love.
So do you know where you're leaning with it yet, Claire, or do you want to hear my opinion?
Yeah, I'll hear your opinion.
Yeah, cubic zirconia. Look, this is sort of in the same thing as when we watched Little Big Mom the other week. It's there are faults, but damn, man, it's such a good ride. There are so many good jokes, and there's so many moments. And like I guess we were saying, it's not so much of the quotability, but like the bits of it are so awesome. And like I get the gold stance. It's a gold because it does fault in some of the logical leaps that you need to make for this story to work, but ultimately I didn't care because I was having so much goddamn fun watching it.
Yeah.
So cubic zirconia for me.
Sorry, just come back to that. It's the first one I really noticed those logical leaps because I'm looking at it critically.
Yeah,
But again, when we imagine the future, when society's fallen and we all speak in Simpsons quotes, this is one that it's not instantly quotable now, but it will be part of the vocabulary.
And when you, our new robot leader, are doing your sermons and you're like, baboons to the left of me, baboons to the right. Where are you falling, Claire?
You know what? I actually feel like I've rated it harsher because I've watched it that many times that the jokes have lost a little bit of the impact they used to have.
Sure.
And, you've brought up very good points. Like, it is something, like, it's an episode I've loved for a really long time. Maybe I've loved it to the point where I'm like, oh, yeah, I've seen this one so many times. Like, I don't need to see it again.
It's one of those ones where I'm going to say, go with your gut, because my brain says it shouldn't be cubic. My gut says, yeah, it should.
Oh, God.
So,
now you're just confusing me more. Look, you know what? I will do CZ because I would watch it again. I would always watch it again. It's a great episode. I do quote it a lot, and I definitely loved it when I was younger. So, yeah, cubic. I'm changing.
Cubic. I think that's the end of episode 31 of the Simpsons Index.
About bloody time.
That's my boy. Futurama quotes. God damn it. I want to do the Futurama Index. Anyway, let's go around the room and say who you are again.
I'm whoever I said I was at the beginning. Still am. Everyone, Elliot just lost his pen.
Claire.
I'm Danny Sneed, formerly Danny Chuck.
And I'm your host, Elliot J. O'Neill, reminding you that I'm not tapping out.
Wow.
Thank you for checking out the Simpsons Index podcast. Don't forget to go to www.thesimpsonsindex.com for the spreadsheet and information about upcoming episodes.
And for today's extra content,
You will now witness the awesome destructive power of this fully armed and operational microphone.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Yeah.
No.
Then I wasn't going to expect you to go out and get a blender.
Come on, Chag. You know what you got to do now.
Stay away.
So, guys,
Stay alive.
bright
Don't fucking
eyes. Every now and then I
fall apart. And I need you now tonight.
And I need you.
And I need you more than ever.
I will only be making it right. Cause what?
We'll be making it all together. We'll be waiting
Yeah,
till
yeah.
the end of the night. Love is like a shadow on me all the time.
All the time,
I
bitch.
don't know where to do. I don't know where to start. Living in a pancake and giving off sparks.
And we're back. So, guys,
Yeah.
I didn't know
We
I
are
knew that
back.
many words to that. It's like the time you and I got drunk and you started singing Hang On Sloopy, and the next morning you told me you didn't know the words to Hang On Sloopy.
I still don't know the words.
Apparently you did.
Oh my god.
Wow. The kind of drunk where you access the dark recesses of your mind. The
Of other
parts
people's minds.
Yeah.
People who aren't even in the room.
Does anyone know the song, the tune to Pringle Can Dick?
Oh, yeah. Hang on a second. No. Here I am. Ain't got a dick. I got a new chicken noodle can. All my life, I've been putting my hands on my chicken noodle wife. Chicken noodle man came down from the mountain, said, Chicken noodle man, you gotta work all day. Chicken man. Fucking lost this.
What was that?
What were you talking about?
Chicken noodle man.
That was from Harmontown.
Oh, yeah, there was a chicken noodle dick. Here's Pringle Dick. Some people call me Pringles Dick, but I never really found out why. I don't really have a Pringles
that's
dick. I just keep my dick inside. I keep my dick inside a Pringles can because it keeps my penis safe and warm and dry. Some people call me Pringles Dick, but I never really found out. No, I never found out. No, I never found out why.
Yeah,
So-
we just watched that Rick and Morty episode where they try to take Jerry's penis,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
they're
yeah.
like, he will never give it up. All the jokes All their jokes are about penises.
Yep.
Putting objects in place of the penis. Never
Same.
fails to get a laugh.
Just the whole bit. Is like,
Never fail.
they are funny when they are large. They are funny when they
they're
are small.
That's how I get to Werner Herzog is that bit. It's funny to say they are big. It's funny to say they are small. I've seen people hold up things in front of them, thermos, pencils, say, "Hey, I'm Mr. So-and-so, Dick. I've got such and such for a penis." Never seen it fail to get a laugh. Anyway,